Hello, everyone. I didn't realize there were so many of you waiting. How's everyone doing? Yeah, look at that. 2 minutes early. Oh, I need to make the Instagram. Yeah, look at that. 2 minutes early.
Oh, God, what is happening?
Look at that. 2 minutes early.
Oh, God, what is...
There we go. Everything's better now. I didn't need to hear the audio for myself. I hate the sound of my own voice. How is everyone doing? Happy Thanksgiving, basically. Let me post this here Instagram thing so people come hang out. Look at that. All right, I had that ready. Boom. Just got to hit share. Professional, I tell you. I don't even know how many. Oh my gosh, there's already 59 people in here. Man, I feel woefully underprepared. Usually I have a minute to just kind of hang out, do my little beginning thing. But you are already here. There are 70 of you in here now. I love it. But for anyone joining after the fact, this is my Thanksgiving live stream. Basically, I'm making this because the next 5-ish days I will not be available, basically, at all. I'm going up homes to see my folks, spend a few days with them, but also get my life together. So I think of the last live stream I talked about it, I have had a kidney infection for about 3 weeks now, and it has essentially bedridden me. Like, I was on the edge of having to go to the hospital to get drip antibiotics. So glad I didn't have to do that. But it has made me basically not be able to leave the house, which kind of sucks. So I'm trying to get myself back in order. So I already have a video done for Monday next week. And then I have another video coming out. I believe it'll be Friday. And then we'll be back on the 2 video a week schedule. And then, of course, in 2 weeks is the Kentucky Yule. And then, all the Yules happening around the Wisdom of Odin community. So it's absolutely nuts. There's 111 in here, so I love it. You guys are already in such a great conversation. So I don't even know where to pick up. But hail to everyone. Welcome. Happy Thanksgiving once again to everyone joining in. So yeah, anything that basically this is your time. I'm here just to hang out with you. I'm going to try and make this for 3 hours. I've been wanting to do a live stream that lasts longer than an hour for a while now. And since I will not be available for the next few days. I mean, unless an emergency pops up within the community at large, I will not be available. And I hope everyone enjoys their time with their family. So this is your time. If you have any question whatsoever, I am here to answer it. I'm here to hang out. There's a few things I can talk about, but mostly I've just been stuck in my house and going crazy. It was great when I was playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I loved it. But at the same time, I put about, I think in total 55 hours in the game, and I'm pretty much done with it. I think I've not beat it yet. I'm going to try to beat it. I'm obviously not going to talk about spoilers, so don't worry about that. But I am done with the game. I think I've done everything I've wanted to do, seen everything I've wanted to see. So we'll see how that goes. But as everyone's rolling in here, welcome so much. I think this is the biggest live stream we've had so far. Over 130 people already. Probably helps I gave you some heads up, unlike the previous times when I'm just like, yo, by the way, there's a live stream. All right. And I don't know why I try to say these names, but I apologize if I butcher your name. I'm just going to roll down the list and say hello to everybody. Adam Howley, Brandon, why do I try this? Brandy, Talent, Unicourt, Tilla Marie, SOA, so ACV, is that just so Assassin's Creed Valhalla? Jace, good to see you. Tanya, good to see you. Wendikind, you've been following me for a while. I should know how to say this. Haley Darling, Ronald Pollard, Dylan Videos, Gary Macmillan, Nerd Rage. Oh, it refreshed. There's so many of you. Hello. I have not had coffee still for 3 weeks, so maybe I can't imagine what it's going to be like when I haven't had coffee. This is me no caffeine. It's really ironic. I made that Norse Pagan offering video where I talk about coffee way too much, and I pronounce it like coffee. I don't know why I did that. Coffee. I like coffee. But ever since I've made that video, I've literally not been able to drink coffee or alcohol. So if you all could pour out a small nip for me, pour out a glass and drink some alcohol for me. It's been 3 weeks. This is what I will be drinking when I'm finally off these antibiotics, and I've been looking at it ever since. Oh, I'm so excited. I'll probably get drunk after one drink. It's going to be a great time. I will be caffeinated and very drunk. Amanda, it's good to see you. I see you in there. Yeah. So there was a time I was in between antibiotics for a day. Basically, I went back to the doctor to see if I was able to be cleared, and they told me no. And so I was like, well, crap. I want to drink caffeine again. I want to live life. Not to mention these antibiotics make me sunburn really easily and make me tired. It's awful. But there was a day lag. and I wasn't on antibiotics anymore, and I went to Starbucks and got like a white chocolate mocha. And it was the most delicious experience of my life. And I don't think I slept for like 18 hours longer. But I look forward to the day very much so. Hello, everyone. 150 people in here. Now I'm terrified. Dallas Hopkins, Laura Brooks, Micah, Bogue. We talk about this every time. It's so good to see you. Jay Tate, Maria Bosen. This is great. So, Games with Jay, I see you asked a really great question. What holidays do Norse Pagans celebrate? So that's actually the topic for my video coming out Monday. It is completely filmed. The notes have been taken. So I use two main sources of reference. So if you want to pick up these books yourself, you can. That's Also True for Beginners by Matthias Nordvig, and also Practical Heathen's Guide to Also True, my love-hate relationship book. So I basically, this is more of a reconstructionist-y based book where it's like, this is the facts. This is what we know about history. This is more of the what most people know about Norse holidays. So it's got about all the ones most people worship. But did you know that certain groups, like certain Also True groups, have 29 different holidays throughout the year? It's crazy. In general, it seems about 8 to 9 holidays is pretty normal. I personally mostly just celebrate on the solstices and equinoxes. This is not a traditional idea. However, we could infer that most pagan societies, pre-Christian and otherwise, well, I guess they would all be pre-Christian, but most pagan societies do worship on the equinoxes or the solstices, even if they didn't really know what those were. It just so happens that according to agriculture, that tends to be when you give to your gods. So I kind of follow the 4 main, as far as the solstices and the equinoxes. That's what works for me. But everyone in this community is different, and everyone has a different flair. But well, the video comes out Monday. I put as much research into it as I could, shared all the links to all the sources I've used. So hopefully everyone enjoys that. I try to give the truth as much as possible, just present the facts to everyone. And then at the very end, I'm like, hey, this is kind of my opinion, which you basically already heard. But the video comes out Monday. So excited. Also going to be talking about, I'm going to be kind of compiling what it's been like to be stuck in my home for this long. Obviously something that many people are dealing with this year, but mine just so happened to be because of infection. So I'm going to try to get some advice together, what's helped me through this. Because obviously when you're stuck in the house, especially with something like this, something that, you know, makes you tired, makes you not feel well, it is very hard to connect to the gods and to the faith. So I'm going to be spending some time to discuss that, go through what I felt. I tried to do a couple of small rituals while I was doing it. Should you seek healing magic, things like that. So I'll definitely be doing a video on that. I'm already out of breath. All right, live stream is over, guys. Good night. 178. I love it. All right, back to questions. Let's see. I'm definitely missing some. You guys are talking like crazy. Oh, also, I should say, this is a wonderful time to meet others in your area. I have seen it countless times on these live streams, which is why I love doing them. But if you start talking like, hey, I'm from, you know, Tallahassee, and someone's like, wow, I'm from Tallahassee too. I've seen it many times on this live stream. So really hope to, you know, a few people make connections. Feel free to have some conversations. But I've definitely taken as many questions here. I see Youth of Odin's already talking about Kansas pagans. I know at least 2. It doesn't seem like Kansas is the cornucopia of paganism, I tell you. All right. Connor Meddings, first stream, and I'm getting ready for work. Definitely going to put some time, some earbuds in and listen anyway. Love it. You've been such a great help for me, and I've gotten my first books because of you. So excited. Thank you. Welcome to your first live stream, Connor. Thank you for sneaking me at work. I always appreciate taking it to the man, giving it to the man. I'm going to retract that statement. Whew. All right. Darton 9-14. What do you do after the offering? I'm assuming you're referring to what do I do with the offering itself. So I've debated doing a video on this because it is a commonly asked question. However, it's not really something I don't think I can talk about for 10 minutes. So quite simply, I prefer burning my offerings whenever possible. Obviously, this is not an option for everyone. So that's if you live in an apartment like I do, I recommend giving liquid offerings as much as possible. And then after, I usually let the offering sit for like 1 to 2 days, sometimes 10, you know, depending on when I remember to remove it. And I usually take it out to my offering, like my offering tree outside and dump it. Or if you're near a park, like dump it. Try to refrain from putting your offerings in the trash. It's not really a good transition of, hey, here, gods, here's some offerings. Great. And then like 2 days later, you just dump it in the trash. So yes, giving food's pretty good for your home. You just have to be more wary of what you do with it afterwards. Fruit is always good because you can always just give an apple and then a couple days later just put it in the woods. That's what I recommend. Mustache is curled. I'm gonna have to pee soon. All right, moving down. What we got? So great to see everyone in here. 183 people. Slightly terrified. How are you, brother? From Topo. Have a great Thanksgiving. Thank you. You too. Hope everyone's getting to do a little bit of something. I know the world's making it a hard time to celebrate Thanksgiving. It's the only American holiday I actually like, so I'm extra pumped for it. This is the first day I'm wearing a sweater like this. Well, I wore a couple sweaters for the holiday video, but all right, let's see what we got. Oh, it refreshed. I'm so sorry. I've lost so much progress. So yeah, keep asking don't get naggy with it, but feel free to keep asking a question. This is quite the stream of people. We're already up to 192. Welcome everyone. Also, really great news. Wisdom of Odin is at 19,000 people on YouTube, and that is crazy because I think 3.5 weeks ago we hit 10,000, so it is nearly doubled in a month, and it looks like it will double in a month. I believe November 1st we had 10,000 people, and then at the end of the month it's looking like we're going to have 20,000 people. So welcome to all the new faces. This is me. I'm kind of just I painted this. For anyone that doesn't know, I'm a painter. I live in an apartment. There's my cat over there. I'm kind of a huge nerd. I like cameras, photography, and stuff. I just do my best to present information to you because I'm on this journey like everybody else. I actually am planning on making a video where it's almost like a guide to the YouTube because there is such an interesting variety of content within the Wisdom of Odin because you do have my more vlog style, like I'm just out in the woods giving to Odin, which are kind of my favorite videos personally. And then you have my more research videos of diving into facts and research to present you information as best as possible. And then you have my readings. Then you have all the gathering videos. So yeah, there's a huge variety of content on the Wisdom of Odin. I'm so happy I've been able to make so much for you. So I definitely want to give a guide to all the people coming into this for the first time, coming into the Wisdom of Odin. All right. Do you have to drink only alcohol in the drinking horn, or can you drink other liquids non-alcoholic, says Kyle Taylor. So yeah, I thought about, obviously I still can't drink right now. So, I mean, yeah, you can pour some water in your drinking horn. I don't think this is going to taste very good. Drinking horns, this is like a buffalo horn. So if you, I'm doing this for all of you. Nope. To be fair, I don't think I've washed this thing since the last time I had meat in it. Oh, God. Yeah, you can. Maybe that was a sign. You can drink from a drinking horn that's non-alcoholic, but I wouldn't recommend it. Now, I mean, yeah, you can drink whatever you want out of it. If you want to put, any liquid in it, I'm sure it'll work. It's just the application of drinking out of a horn is a very satisfying experience to get drunk because typically you drain the whole thing because you got to carry it around the whole time. I do have a belt loop for mine. Highly recommend them. All right. Chris Burkeland. Anyone from Washington? Yeah, if anyone's from Washington, hit Chris up. I know we got a few in here. Green's from Illinois. Justin Black. We got a lot of you from Illinois. Odin's late term. I take these things really slow. Hey, Jacob, do you take Norse mythology as literal? Heck no, I don't. I don't believe Odin goes around with, well, not Odin necessarily, but like Thor. I don't believe Thor's going around in a chariot carried by 2 goats. I think that is definitely more of a mythological telling, and that's great. I love that mythology, especially when we talk about children. I'm so excited to tell my future children one day the stories of our gods because it allows their imagination to go. But ultimately, yes, you feel Thor when you feel a thunderstorm, but I do not believe that Thor himself rides around in a chariot carried by goats. Now, do I believe the gods are beings? Yes, I do. There are certain members of this community who do not. I've talked about this in a live stream before. There is definitely this thought process of people. In fact, I have a video. It's called What Are the Gods, which has a really good explanation and a deep dive into it. And it's like kind of a spooky video, actually. So there are certain people that believe the gods are just more metaphysical ideas that we attach to and allow ourselves to better by connecting to them. And then there's certain people that do believe the gods are more beings. I find this idea to be more common. I do believe the gods to be beings simply because I have had such interactions with them. When you start diving into this faith, I feel like when you connect to a god, it feels like a singular thing that you can grab onto. So I don't think it's this, this overall feeling. I have felt the gods enough to determine that, yes, they are beings of some kind. And we just simply don't understand the universe to say that, beings like this couldn't exist just because they don't have, they don't just walk around like us. They could. I believe that God sent people along your way for sure. But yeah, as far as like believing in the mythology, I like to combine mythology with science as much as possible. And when you take Norse mythology and combine it with science, you're going to find a lot of cool similarities. Especially like I share around, I wish I had the picture, but like the world serpent, if you look up what the underwater ocean currents look like there's like a main ocean current that goes across the whole planet. It looks like a snake. So yeah, there's probably not a gigantic snake under the ocean that we call Jormungandr that somehow no one's detected. But when you look at the deep ocean currents, it looks like a snake. So that's where I like mythology coming together. Breathe. Is there a good source on the Wild Hunt? This is a great question to ask everyone. So from 100 IDB, is there a good source on the Wild Hunt? I haven't been able to find one. I know the Wild Hunt exists. I know basic details, but if anyone has good sources on the Wild Hunt, please share it with us. There are 202 of you in here. We are basically a Norse mythology, Norse religion think tank. So if you have anything good on the Wild Hunt, please share it. I want to learn more. Joshua says hello from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I'm also a photographer and a videographer. So tell me, Canon or Nikon? Sony. I switched to Sony actually when I started doing more video work, mostly for that. I absolutely love this camera for vlog style videos because I can do that, and that is awesome. I really like the color contrast of Sony cameras for video, but as far as photography, I prefer Nikon. I believe to me, Nikons are better built and more sturdy. I like the meatiness of a Nikon in my hand. When I pick up a Canon, it feels like a child's toy, so I don't like Canon very much. That's my opinion, but yeah, you can take great photos with a potato if you really try. I actually started most of my photography on a black and white Olympus. I forget the exact model, but I love film photography. Absolutely love it. Kat, I see you in here. Oh, it refreshed again. Kat, I lost you, but I know I saw you in here. Whoa, man, y'all talking so much. Windicun says it okay to have more than one patron god? So I believe I have to discuss patron gods at every live stream now, from now to the day I die or until I make a video. So patron deities are a interesting subject because they are very common. But as far as our relationship, actually, Matthias Nordvig covers it really well in Also True for Beginners. He talks about, is this polytheistic, or I think it's pantheistic? I'm probably not going to be able to find the exact moment in here, but he kind of talks about what exactly is this religion. It seems like most people tend to gravitate toward one deity. There is a set of it. I forget the exact name. The people that like aggressively worship one god and refuse to worship the others. I definitely don't believe in that. And I definitely see people gravitate towards one. Now, actually taking them as a matron or a patron, I believe that is more of a Wiccan influence. And when I say things like that, that's not a negative thing at all. I just think it's something that we have to recognize as a part of our modern pagan practices, as neo-pagans, so to speak, is that these influences of matrons and patrons is definitely more of a Wiccan influence. Now, again, most people seem to gravitate towards one deity. So do you need a matron and patron? Absolutely not. It's a polytheistic religion. Now, when it comes to more than one matron or patron, that is definitely territory where you got to ask that deity yourself. If you yourself feel that, you can maintain an oath between two deities and two beings, then go for it. But definitely not something that I look for. I have an oath to Odin, of course, which I do consider my patron, so to speak. But I also have an oath to Freya, but I don't consider her a matron by any means. So I guess it comes down to, why do you want to do it? What are your intentions behind having two? It's a polytheistic religion. You can talk to any deity that you want to and have a relationship with. But I guess it's ultimately, why would you want two patrons / matrons? And is it really something you need? Would be my question, my return question. All right. Ko Macedo or Mikado. Ko Mikado? I kind of like that. It's probably Macedo, though. But Mikado, I like. Jacob, should I clean my offerings bowl or should I just leave it the way it is? So obviously, you do have to think about real world sense as far as offering cleanup. If you have an offering bowl, I mean, I have this problem too. Like, I'll leave an offering before I go to a gathering, and I'll come back and forget about it, and then I look down and there is just mold growing in my offering bowl, and I'm like, because obviously I don't want to leave mold for the gods. So there is the real world sense of, yes, I don't like to use harsh chemicals on my offering bowls, but obviously I don't tend on eating out of the offering bowls myself. I just try to maintain them with water and a nice scrub every now and then. Try to keep it as a natural cleaning process as possible, but also you don't want your house to smell and you don't want mold growing in your house. So it's more of a practical sense. Like I think I've washed an offering bowl in the dishwasher before when it was particularly bad. And there's been times I just chucked them in the trash because I'm like, there's like a colony in there. And I'm like, ooh, I just chuck it in the trash. I know that's probably bad. But I would definitely recommend just maintaining your offering bowls with, ease and as little chemical process as possible. All right. As soon as I scroll it, it's going to refresh probably. Youth of Odin. You're talking to someone, I think. You're great. You're talking about Kansas. Mariah Bozen. Yeah, I said that right. From Utah. Not many Utah pagans out there. Fighting the good fight with the Mormons next door. Do you drink out that thing all the time, or you drink out of a glass like a normal person? I mean, I literally almost just choked and died off this horn. No, this horn literally stays like affixed right there, just as like a cool thing to look like. But as far as like normal everyday drinking, I mean, that's kind of my main thing with this channel is, yes, I'm a Norse pagan. Yes, I have done crazy magic-y stuffs at times. The Fall Gathering, if you haven't checked it out, it's one of my favorite videos just simply because that was one of the deeper things I have done with this faith as far as like a group ritual. At the end of the day, I'm living a normal American life. This is my iPhone. Here's my drinking vessel. I use pens. I'm just a normal person in this society. I do everything like almost every single other person does. Luckily, I live a life that I'm allowed to be a full-time YouTuber. Thankful so much for that. This YouTube has grown up so much, but I don't personally go around dressed in any form of different way. I wear just normal everyday clothes. Yes, I have my Mjolnir. Yes, I have my oath ring. I use my drinking horn for ceremonies, and that's basically it. I did my Patreon live stream like a week or so ago, and my hairdresser is a pagan, wonderful person, great having a pagan hairdresser. And she actually put my hair back because that's why she's been doing my hair this way. So she put my hair back, like not even a man bun. She did like the Viking braids, and like it was cool. But also I was like, I do not want to look like this all the time because it definitely garners attention. And I might do that like. I'm going to have her go back and do it again for the Yule gathering. But for the most part, everyday wear, I just try to look like everybody else. Hi from Italy. It's great. Who else we got in here? I'm out of breath. Lena Sorrell. I'm starting to learn Norse paganism and runes. I wrote some on my wrist for my new job. They have disappeared until after like a week later. I light incense and pray before work. Thank you for your videos. Thank you so much. I think just these small little rituals are what get us through the day and really what makes us feel connected on a daily basis. Skyrish lad. I'm sure it's like a Scot-Irish thing. I only just started on the path recently, going to ask Odin for insight on where I should put my energy. Any thoughts and suggestions? It depends if Odin is calling to you. If you feel as though that you can make a difference in the world for something you do, then pursue that. Obviously with me, I was still working in restaurants. I had just left restaurant management. I was just waiting tables again. And I was basically called, I think I was 22 when this first happened. I felt the call from Odin and I wanted to know what he wanted. And basically I left a really good salary paying job. And then I was just waiting tables, and it basically came to me that I needed to continue my pursuit of art, even though I had actually left art school at this time. I didn't finish my degree. I actually didn't go back till later to finish my art degree, which I'm so glad I actually went back and finished my degree. Student, that sucks, but I'm glad I actually went back and did finish college. And I ended up pursuing freelance photography for an entire year, just as my sole job. I did do a little bit of Ubering there for a bit. I was an Uber driver. I bet you can imagine I had some great Uber stories, let me tell you. I only did that for a few months, but man, I got some Uber stories for you. But if I didn't leave that restaurant job and I didn't leave that restaurant management job and suffer through freelance photography for a year of barely knowing where my next paycheck was coming from, I would have probably never started the Wisdom of Odin. So I think it starts in small steps. If you feel as though you're good at something, or the gods honor you for something, they think you're a great artist or a cook or a chef or, anything, like anything that you feel you're good at, start working towards your goals. Like, okay, start working towards it. I didn't start a freelance photography job to become, I wasn't like a Norse pagan photographer. I was just a photographer. And eventually that led to me starting this YouTube channel. And after a year of that YouTube channel, it was basically a year later, I became a full-time YouTuber. So, the gods work in crazy ways. Just follow the signs and follow what you think you're good at. and then everything will work out that way too. All right, what do we got here? Chris said something about the Wild Hunt is an amazing story about hard to find resources. Yeah. Hail from France. Bonsoir, mon ami. I mainly worship Freya, but I have recently become contacted by her brother Frey. I live in California and don't have a lot of places to go to connect to nature, but what can I do to worship nature inside? Plants. I know it sounds simple, but getting more than one plant. Like I have one plant, it's getting quite tall. I have one plant in my house, but if you want to connect to Frey, however you want to say it, on a daily basis, line a wall with plants. Get some plants for days, but also don't be afraid of a pilgrimage. If you have the means to do it, don't be afraid to drive a couple hours to go to the nature. I'm lucky enough to live in a city that has many great parks, but my favorite place to go and where I film a lot of my videos with all the mountains and rivers and streams and cliff faces is about an hour and a half away from me. I'm so excited to finally go back there. So I recommend having a place you go to on a regular basis that is a little bit of a pilgrimage, and that makes it an offering in itself just to drive out there. So get plenty of plants to make you feel connected on a daily basis, but have a place you are willing to drive as a pilgrimage and build yourself an altar/shrine out there is what I recommend. All right. I haven't found much on the Wild Hunt. We're starting to find some consistency here in the fact that we don't got nothing. Joe Kude. Do you have any advice for worship when you don't have woods around you to go to? Speaking as a deployed soldier in the desert. She might be in here. We actually have someone within the military that is doing her best and working really hard to make paganism/heathenism more recognized in the military and have proper regulations. I know it is being talked about to have portable altars being allowed to soldiers that they can take with them as part of the religious practice. So hopefully we can work on that. Obviously, the military structure is a very complicated beast, and getting things done in there takes time. So I am working with people that are working really hard to make sure that military pagans have a better life. But as far as like connecting with nature, as far as like if you're in the middle of the desert, everywhere has beauty. You know, I don't know how far you can travel outside of base, but if you can just find a mountain or a beautiful outcrop of rocks, or just even pile some rocks up to just make something for the gods, that's what I would recommend. But obviously, I don't want you to get in trouble in the military, so it is all up to what you were allowed to do. But whenever possible, I would go somewhere beautiful or make something beautiful. Thoughts on Assassin's Creed Valhalla? I mean, to be fair, I do have an entire video about it. In fact, I technically have 4 videos all centered around Assassin's Creed Valhalla. But my overall review, I mean, love the game, had a great time. I think it's one of the best pagan representations out there, but I put 45-ish hours into it, and I am feeling pretty done with it. So I got some good time out of it. 218 people in here. So great to see you all. We're at only half hour through, and I said I'm going to do this for 3 hours. So let's do it. Anyone in Buffalo, New York area looking for a meetup, hit him up. I don't know how to say your name in one go, but it's CSRENCZ. He has a Buffalo on there. I've seen your comment before. It's great to see you again. Do you ever feel like you could be doing more for the gods? Well, of course. I don't know if you were here, Kiara. Of course I can feel like I can be doing more for the gods. And this is not an ego thing at all, but me, someone that runs an Instagram, YouTube, Discord community around Norse paganism feels like he could do more for the gods. That's just something, but I feel like that is a good thing. If you ever feel content, to me, if you ever feel content in life, it's usually not a good thing. In life, you want to keep on pushing yourself. So I always want to feel like I can do more. I've definitely had moments where I feel like the gods are kind of like, you don't have to. And I'm like, I want to keep doing more. Especially these last 3 weeks, just being, essentially not necessarily bedridden, but kind of just staying in my house, trying to get better. I really wanted this infection to be gone so I don't have to deal with it more, or it doesn't get worse. And it felt like I wasn't doing enough for the community and for the gods, but you just have to work through those things. Life isn't always going a million miles an hour, even if you want to. So just accept what life throws at you. And when you get out of those things, get back on your feet. Don't expect the world to come back at you at a million miles an hour. Take your time, but you will eventually feel that connection and feel like you're doing enough again. I want to learn more about Norse paganism. Where can I go? Where can I go to learn? Like, can I look down and there's like the subscribe and like button right down there? and like the 100 and so videos. I mean, I don't want to be a dick, but at the same time, you're in the right place. So go down, check out some of the videos. I got a lot of videos. I have an entire playlist on Essential Also True for Beginners. It's got all of my beginner intro videos, everything I've done for the last year or so. So definitely check it out. But do research, expand far. I can't tell you how many times I've said it. Don't make me your only source of information. Jackson Crawford is great. I mention him all the time. Eric Harriger, if you want to dive into like the historical, sometimes metaphysical side. Bjorn Bull Hansen, when he actually talks about paganism. I mean, there's a lot of great resources. I have a few people that have started channels similar to this, just like the Norse Path, just like the Secret of Wisdom. Go out, check their work out, buy books, buy lots of books. I got 3 books right here. True for Beginners, The Soul of the North, Practical Heathen's Guide to Ostru. Yeah. But JD's a great guy. Matthias, very smart dude. So buy books, buy lots of books, and watch The Wisdom of Odin. Some of you are probably like, man, this guy drinks a lot of caffeine, but I can't still. What we got? All right, Timberwolf survival and preparedness. Being new to the religion, is there anything special I should do with jewelry when I get it before I wear it? Not necessarily. I mean, it's more of your personal thing. We don't have anything historic that says this is what the ancestors did when they gave their Mjolnir to the gods. We don't have anything like that. But if you feel, to me, intention is everything. If you want something special behind your Mjolnir, make a ritual for it. Create a ritual of like putting it on an altar, putting it on a beautiful piece of rock or by a waterfall. Speak to Thor. Tell him why you're wearing that Mjolnir, or tell the gods while you're doing it, or any piece of jewelry. Put the intention behind it. That way it has meaning to you, and you have told that intention to the gods themselves. So that's what I highly recommend. If you ever feel like you need to do something, make a ritual around it. It doesn't necessarily need to be a ritual anyone else has written. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to have bad rituals, and you're going to have great rituals. But you can do it. How long did it take you to grow that beard? Oh, man, let me tell you. So my beard journey, so I don't know if it's going to get much longer than this. I have essentially not trimmed it in 5 months or something like that, and this seems to be about as far as it's gotten. It has natural fallout for sure. I comb it every day. Try to take care of it as best I can. But this is the longest it's ever been, so I don't even know. This is just my life beard at this point. It just seems like as far as it's going to go. Hopefully it keeps going. I'm 26. We'll see how far it can go. Hope to be big, bushy beard. All right. I'm going to school for horticulture. What would you recommend I work with? Would it be Freya? Any of the Vanir. Freya, Freyr, Njord at times. If you want to get deep into it, like Nerthus. I'm not the best Vanir guy in the world, but we got plenty in the community. They always have great recommendations. Still 200 of you over here. Thank you so much. Hey, Jacob, do you have any tips on shouting to the gods in an apartment complex? Don't do it, probably. You don't need to shout at the gods. Even when I have done videos about shouting to the gods, I do it in secluded areas that would not disturb anyone. And I don't do all of my worship by shouting. In fact, I don't do much shouting at all. In the grand scheme of things, like I don't do much shouting at all. I've made several videos where I've recorded myself shouting at the gods, and that's a great therapeutic thing. It's a great way to feel connected, to break that barrier, but yeah, don't have to shout at them. Now, as far as like, can you talk to them just with your thoughts? You can, but you would really have to set that intention, practice meditation, practice trance work to really set that, but you do not have to shout within your apartment complex. I've definitely had some loud nights. I remember when I recorded Grim to Small, I got really animated at some point, and yeah, I definitely probably pissed people off at 2 in when I was just like, "You are drunk, Gareth!" And like they're like right above me, so I'm sure I've definitely pissed them off sometimes. All right. Oh, it refreshed again. Oh, I thought I was getting to the bottom. It just keeps going. So good to see everyone, though. How's everyone doing? All right. I'm gonna be honest with you. Your boy's got to pee a lot because he's got to deal with this infection. So give me 15 seconds to talk amongst yourself. I'll be right back. Love you all. Bye. See, that wasn't too long at all. No, the only way we're going to make it to 3-hour live stream when we're not even a quarter of the way there, the only way we're going to do is you allow me to have pee breaks and allow me to drink lots of water. So I apologize. But otherwise, I'm all yours. All right, now there's so many more people in here. All right, let's go. All right. I'm just going to keep scrolling up and see where I was. I'm trying to get to everyone as possible. Mariah says it's her first live stream. So great to have you here. Dylan says hydration is crucial. I've drank so much water in the last 3 weeks. I don't want to drink again. I talk about it a little bit on the podcast that's coming out Sunday. Nutrition has become more of an important part of my life. When I first got this infection, I went to the doctor and she did have the talk. She was like, your blood pressure is a little high. You probably need to change your diet. I'm like, you're right. And I definitely became, I was cooking at home a lot, but I tended to eat a lot of high-fat foods, lots of cheese, lots of eggs, bacon, things like that. So I completely changed my diet in the last 3 weeks to, both help myself get better over this infection. I'm a lot more fruits and vegetables. I tend to eat vegetarian at least 2 or 3 nights a week, sometimes vegan. Mostly only eat white meat. So to me, nutrition is becoming much more of an important part of my life. And hopefully as soon as I get off of these antibiotics and get back to more normalcy, fitness can become a part. Hiking has always been my go-to exercise, but I am ready to just hopefully live to see a bright old age of 72. All right, what do we got here? Youth of Odin. I've yet to get to talk to you on a Norse Pagan from Kansas. Oh, you guys are just talking. Go for it. All right, what do we got here? Don't talk all at once. Nah, keep talking. Go for it. Y'all make sure you drink water with your ale and mead. Yeah, I always I do my best. I don't drink too much mead, but man, the moment I can, I'm looking at you reading the old. Hi everyone, my first stream too. Welcome. There's going to be a lot of first timers here. So welcome to all the first timers. Thank you for joining this channel. I know a lot of you are here from the last month just simply because the Wisdom of Odin has doubled the size of the last month. So thank you to everyone here. Texas Pagan, anyone says Dallas. Hopkins, there are a lot of Texas Pagan tied in among you. What do we got here? So Jacob, a few words on Greek paganism. Thanks in advance. I have nothing to say on Greek paganism. I have no problem with it, but I don't know anything about it. Sorry. All right. If you're asking specifically, is it okay to mix pantheons? I'm not going to be the one to tell you that is okay or not okay. That is up to you and the deities you worship. I personally stick to mostly a Norse pagan basis, but someone has given to Celtic deities before at a gathering. I felt something from those presences. So the Greek pantheon, I think I'm not even sure. I really don't know that much about the Greek pantheon. I know a lot of people within the community come from a Hellenistic perspective, the Greek perspective. I just simply don't have enough about it. That's not really, it's a Wisdom of Odin. All right. I joined the old gods not long ago. I needed a place to turn to, and I found Norse paganism. I've started to brew and done research and almost ready to give my first offering. Any offering tips? Lots of offering videos out there, but just quite simply say, don't make it too complicated. You don't need a 20-step. That's one of my problems with this book is it talks about a 15-step process to giving offerings. And I'm like, just give the offering, woman. But as far as giving offerings, just set your intention, summon the gods, the deities you're working with, or, set the intention behind it, why you're giving the offering, announcing it, keeping it formal at first, moving to more friendly, the more offerings you give. But that's basically, it doesn't have to be super complicated. Don't try to make it this big grandiose thing, at least for your first one. You will find what you need to do. And definitely it has helped me a lot by coming to these gatherings and seeing people that have been practicing for a long time give offerings. So sharing those ideas, that's why I think it's so crucial to start meeting up. All right. All right, Nonavirus. Hey, how should I approach my mom asking her to help with my altar? I can't afford things myself as I'm only 15. I don't think she want to spend too much. I mean, if your parents are willing to help you on it, great. But honestly, you can make a corner of your bookshelf, the top of your dresser, basically any surface for the gods. I do recommend, just building it over time. You don't need to make it this big thing. Obviously there's probably 35 individual pieces on my altar now. Of various things along my journey and story. So you don't have to make it this crazy thing. There's no need to spend tons of money on it, but just spend it with quality. There's a lot of things on there that have just been gifts, small rocks, pebbles, crystals, that have been gifts from people that have built over time. Being 15, by the time you're 20, you're going to have a massive room full of all the spiritual objects you've collected. So definitely just create a space and maybe get one, pendant or one statue to a deity And I always recommend Etsy. Get something that is homemade, like homemade, homebrewed pagan statue. But yeah, don't go crazy with it. It'll build itself over time. Also from Minnesota. Hey, Brent, you guys are talking. Love it. My grandfather had some land in the mountains of North Carolina. He's in a nursing home, so it's being passed down. It's perfect for a haul, but my aunt may sell it. Yeah, hopefully not. North Carolina is definitely a place I've looked. As far as like the haul land, I mean, the haul is definitely not something that is gone as far as an idea. I mean, I'm definitely still doing it at some point, but it's become the question of how am I going about to do it? We almost had some, the people I work with, we almost had some done in September, but things fell through. Like literally we were a day away from getting the land and it just didn't work out. So now we're kind of taking a step back. Obviously with the world situation, it's not the best time to be doing these big grandiose ideas. We're kind of laying low for a bit to see what happens. But I'm definitely looking one way or another to buy land myself next year for my personal home. So I've basically signed another year lease here in September. So by September next year, I'm looking for land for me. And if it's not just the hall land in general, I'm just going to build my house and then just start building a hall behind it is what I'm going to do. Any tips for working with Loki? I too can relate to the Spire experience, but I have trouble processing and how direct the signs can be. Any else with the same kind of experience as Loki? So we actually, the best thing I can say in one video, because I'm not the best with Loki myself, we do have a podcast episode about Loki. So I highly recommend checking that podcast episode out on the Folk Podcast on all major streaming platforms. It'll give you, it's like an hour-long episode, if not like an hour and 20. I think it might be one of our longest episodes. When we talk about Loki and modern Loki worship, there's a lot of misconceptions and there's very little historical information to go off of and almost no information on how Loki worship was conducted in the past. So it's a very hard subject to kind of go through, but that podcast should help you out quite a bit. All right, it refreshed again. I don't know why sometimes it just refreshes. Goran Van Hoot says, I've been a big inspiration, and thank you. Thank you. Truly. As always, this is just a recording of my journey. I'm just glad I've been able to help so many people. So excited to see how much this community has grown in such a short amount of time. Jacob, what do vultures mean in Norse mythology if you have experience in research? I have absolutely no experience with vultures, but the vulture itself is not recorded anywhere as a sign itself. I think a lot of people attest a vulture to hell or probably mostly hell, because even like the look of a vulture, I mean, the fact that vultures don't have feathers on their face is literally because they like vomit their food all the time. And so like hell, like I would say hell is a very good like vulture thing, the living and the dead. That's what I would recommend looking into. Don't know a lot about hell myself. Hey Jacob, do you ever head down to Texas? I missed what you said about Texas earlier. We just have a lot of Texas pagans. We are having a Texas gathering in January, I believe. There is a gathering happening down there. I may or may not be going that to myself. We kind of have our own group doing their own stuff down there. So we'll see. I will probably be going down to do some rituals, though, with maybe Caleb from the community here. But yeah, there are quite a few Texas people. I know we have probably like 15 or 20 in the Discord. All right. Everyone just saying hello. I love it. All right. There's just so many of you. Thank you so much. I love it. Hey, any tips for those of you living in an apartment? How do you connect with your fellow pagans, specifically in Louisville, Kentucky? Myself, there are so many Kentucky pagans. I love it. Someone just messaged me on Patreon. I'm like, I wonder if they're trying to get in here. I don't know. But Justin, if you're in here, thank you for becoming a Patreon supporter. I love it. But as far as like apartment stuff, I mean, that's kind of essentially what the background of a lot of this channel is the fact that I do live in an apartment. I'm lucky enough to have nature right outside. That's why I got this apartment, because I have that right there. I mean, you can see right there. That's my outdoor altar. So, yeah. So most of my channel is essentially a guide for worshiping the gods in an apartment. I don't have a lot of space in here, and I have an indoor and an outdoor altar. But it seems like I've been covering that a lot in this live stream. But yeah, basically having an indoor altar is great. I recommend having a place you go to further away that you can, I don't want to necessarily call it a nexus, but a place you can call your own, as far as like a place to worship the gods outside of your own home. I don't care what big city you live in. You can't tell me you can't drive 2 or 3 hours and get into nature of some kind. Make the pilgrimage, go into nature. Loki is the one dislike on the live stream. Oh, every time I mention dislikes, more spawn. Don't talk about them. Don't talk about them after midnight. Jacob, is there any chance you can call out you of the Hall on Instagram? I'm searching for Kansas folk. You can message me, but like I said, I am not on Instagram the rest of the week. I am not available the rest of the week. So I would recommend reaching out to me next week. I can't promise. I mean, I want to say I can do it, but man, let me tell you, I have about 195 message requests on Instagram right now, and it keeps growing every day, even though I sit down and try to hammer some out. So if I can't get back to you on Instagram, it's just quite simply, I can't spend all day messaging everybody. I do have to still make videos and whatnot, and not to mention like all the gathering stuff going on. So try to reach me next week is the best thing I can say if you want me to share your account out. But there's nothing wrong with having your Instagram account, putting it out there. I mean, chances are one of the dozens, if not hundreds of people that all have created Instagram accounts around Norse paganism through the Wisdom of Odin in some degree will probably see it and share it. We do a very good job as a community of spreading this out there. So, but just try to reach out to me next week. Jacob, what do you think about having a heathen cemetery? I've debated that before. Like, how are we going to handle that? Because obviously it's not something we want to think about now, but it is something we have to think about for the future. Obviously, burial mounds were very prominent across, the Scandinavian and Germanic worlds. And those are great, except the fact that they take up so much space. So, I mean, if you ever look like literally the burial mound itself, and then there's like the body like in the center. It's not like there's just bodies all around it. There's usually like one body in the center. And yeah, so we'll have to think about it. I do like the idea of burial mounds, but also I like it. I think it's in Gotland. They had the rings of like shaped like a ship, which was basically the grave. Really love that. So I would recommend that highly. I would recommend that for your funeral. Personally, I feel as though I want to be cremated. There definitely seems to be a theme of cremation means you're kind of done with this life and you're ready to go to the next one. Definitely feel like I'm done with this life. It's not like I directly believe in past lives, but damn it, if I don't feel like I haven't been here before. And so I definitely feel like I want to be cremated personally, and I wouldn't mind a good old Viking boat out into the ocean or a lake and light on fire. Would really love to watch that from the afterlife. Hey, Jacob, so there's 60 of us for December. I think 59. I think 59 is what we landed on for December is the final count. I feel pretty comfortable with that. So, yeah, we're going to have one of the biggest gatherings ever, at least as far as the Wisdom of Odin community. And then there's, I believe, 6 total Yule gatherings happening across the country of all people that have met through the Wisdom of Odin. Love it. Texas Pagan. Yeah, there's tons of Texas in here. Like, talk amongst yourselves. What are some good, simple, and easy YouTube editing software? So I personally use now Premiere Pro, which obviously is like $300, I think, or $200. It's pretty expensive. But if you do have an Apple product, you can get any Apple product that's like an iPhone or just a Mac in general. You can get iMovie for free. I recommend iMovie if you have to do that. And then furthermore, if you can't, I mean, there's Premiere Pro. You can spend like $15-ish a month and use Premiere Pro. It's fine. I just don't like its user interface. You can do anything you want in it. I mean, that's one of the things the pros use, but I just do not like Premiere Pro. I think it's ugly. But as far as free, and if you don't have an iPhone, I mean, then you're talking some really crappy ones on the internet. I used one when I first started this channel ages ago. It feels like now. I was using this app called InShot. It was the best free like Android video editor I have found. It's okay, and it's not going to be fun. It's not fun to edit on your phone either. But if you have a laptop, if you can spend the $15 a month and get Premiere Pro, or not Premiere Pro, yeah, Premiere. Oh, I use Final Cut. I lied to everybody. YouTube Studio and App Store. Can you actually edit on that? I didn't know you could edit on that. I mean, that's what I use for all my analytics. All right. How's everyone doing? I feel like my breath is almost gone. But I'm going to keep on pushing on because I'm here for all of you and also so I can afford to take some time off. Anyone else here from Maine? So we have people looking for people from Maine here. How can I worship the gods equally without offering all of my stuff? I don't quite understand what you mean by that. How can I worship the gods equally? I mean, you don't have to give offerings to every deity. I mean, I haven't given offerings to every deity. I've worked with Odin, Thor, Freya, Bragi, and I'm going to start working with Heimdall. So you don't have to give offerings to all the gods. Keep it simple. An offering can just be an apple or your time. All right. Best color correcting software is free and is Device Resolve. I'm not trying to promote Device Resolve, but yeah, there's free software out there. I like what I use. Does anyone else feel like home in this live stream, surrounded by family almost? Well, that's sweet. But that's what I really love about this live streams. A lot of people have talked in these before, back and forth. I mean, a lot of you I've probably talked to either on Instagram or on Discord if you're part of the Patreon community. So it's really great to see everyone coming together. And these live streams, I'm going to try to do a live stream once a month as far as YouTube, as for everyone in here. And then I'll be trying to do a live stream every 2 weeks on Patreon is kind of my goal. Let's see here. How can we get a temple built in the States? I honestly think that people would travel to pay respect for the gods in one temple. Yeah, so definitely a goal. As far as like a temple, I think it depends on what scale we're talking about here. You know, when you start talking about a temple that's a temple / hall that will cost, you know, $500,000 to make, it becomes the question of where you're getting that money. You know, it can be community fundraised, but it's not as easy as it seems. There's a lot of details behind it. So I've been back and forth on myself. I've been on the, all right, what's budget $500,000? I've had those discussions, but I'm definitely looking myself. You know, I want to buy some land, build a home for myself and my future wife and children, and, you know, focus on that for myself. And then basically as soon as I'm done with that, you know, lay a foundation and get a basic hall structure put up and then just keep going from there. It's kind of what my vision is for right now. Let's see here. I'm okay. Just been so tired. Oh, you guys are just talking. I think I'm mostly caught up now. This is great. Wisdom of Odin. How old would I have to be to join one of the gatherings? So our gatherings. So we've talked about this, and keep in mind, I don't work these gatherings by myself. I have 12 organizers I work with now. All people in the community that I've met that we're all putting on these gatherings ourselves. I'm putting on one here in Kentucky with 4 or 5 other people. Actually, I think we have. Oh man, we might have 20 organizers at this point because I think 7 or 8 of them are coming to the Kentucky gathering. And then we have one in the South, we have one in the Northeast, one in Texas, and actually it's going to be in Oklahoma, and then one in the Northwest in Idaho, I believe. So yeah, we have a lot going on. So as far as that was just background, but as far as the age limit, it is up to the organizers as far as it's going to be 21 and up or 18 and up, but for the most part, it's always going to be 18 and up. Obviously, if parents want to bring their children, that is fine. But typically, those parents are the one that have to be members of this community, not, you know, someone who's 15 interested who has like a mom that's not and brings them in. That just gets weird and awkward. And I don't think I want to put anyone in that position. But definitely, you know, people bringing their children are up to them. You know, obviously, that is your problem if they're your children. But I personally, and it's 18 and up, but we do not allow underage drinking for obvious reasons. So if you are caught drinking underage, you will be asked to leave. And if it is a repeat offense, like you come to another gathering, you do it again, you won't be allowed at gatherings. But it is 18 and up for most of the ones I put on personally myself. But I know some people are making them 21 and up, just so you just completely eliminate the issue of underage drinking. All right. Look at that. Gave me time to get up. Well, break time over. You all are amazing. Keep up the great work, Jacob. Charlie, it was great. You know, I don't think I actually directly answered any of your questions, but thank you for hanging out with us, and you have a great rest of your day at work. Would you say some gods are kind of seasonal to worship, like Skadi in winter or Freyr during harvest? Yeah, I would say so. I don't think there's anything definitive. I think it is definitely more of a feel. You know, my last Offering the Thor video, obviously other people are going to feel Thor this time of year. But for me here in Kentucky, you know, seeing that last storm come through, it made me realize that I'm not necessarily going to seek a connection with him. And maybe I won't feel a connection to him, you know, for the next 6 or so months. And I definitely feel like Ostara this year, the spring festival we had, it definitely felt more, I mean, to me, it was more Odin focused, but I know a lot of people feel more of the, you know, Vanir. The summer, you're going to feel more of those Vanir as well. But then as soon as you start going to the darker times, you're going to start feeling the more mystical deities. We had a run-in with Agrabotha at the fall gathering. That was crazy. I definitely had some Odin moments, some Freya moments. And then I know I'm very excited for winter to see, but like you said, Skadi would probably be a very big one. I know we're going to give an offering to Njord. We're going to give an offering to the goddesses. So it's definitely going to be, you know, based on your area, based on the people you're with. But I definitely do find the gods to be slightly seasonal in some aspects. All right. I don't feel judged like I was in Christianity. Great. Oh, Adam. Yeah, I've seen you making the rounds, Adam Howley. I've been seeing you making the rounds on the comments. I've been seeing them. So I hope you're finding your answers. But yeah, I feel this. I'm not going to say this community is unjudgmental. We definitely have our problems for sure. This community is not perfect by any means. But the community, at least the people that tend to flock to this channel and are within the Discord community and everything we have, we try to be as unjudgmental as possible because we all come from all walks of life. And we're all just trying to learn together. Just be respectful of your friends and folk, and everyone should get along. That's how I see it. How do you plan on celebrating Yule? So there's obviously no one right way to celebrate Yule, and never believe anyone that says there's only one right way to do anything. But personally, what we're doing, so when we get there on Friday, everyone's going to be getting there 3 or 4, something like that. And at 9 o'clock, I'm going to have an opening ritual where I kind of summon the gods and, welcome them. Hey, kind of set our intentions for the weekend. We're celebrating Yule, celebrating the wild hunts, celebrating as friends and folk. Gods be with us. And then we're staying up all through Friday night, and I'm so excited for it. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. I actually did get this from Practical Heathen's Guide to Ostrue. I hate and love this book. I really do. But they recommended a Suna night ritual where basically you stay up all night. You have an all-night ritual, celebration, friend and folk. Everyone gets to know each other. And then right at the break of sunrise, you all get together and you give an offering for the coming year and the coming sun. And I really love that. So we're going to do that Friday night, pass out. I believe on Saturday, we're having a main feast. We're having ham, potatoes, mac and cheese, I think a veggie soup. We're having all kind of like a chili. Like we're having the hearty feast on Saturday night. And then we're doing I believe that night we're doing the goddess rituals. We're having our, some of our female members of our community do something for the goddesses and the female ancestor spirits, the Seer. And then the next day, I believe we're doing something during the day for the Vanir. I know we're doing something because it's on a lake. So I know we're going to be doing something Njord focused where we all be taking a dive into the icy cold water, which I'm really excited for. And then that night, I think at some point, we're doing some kind of Odin ritual specifically for Odin. I don't think I'm doing that one. I think Caleb's doing that. And then Sunday night, we're actually having tacos for dinner because we planned this huge feast and it's going to be so much work. And we were like, what do we want to do for Sunday? I don't really want to do another feast. And I was like, I'm sitting there on our chat. I'm like, what if we do a taco night? And everyone's like, a taco night? I'm like, why not? It'll be easy. We just have all the ingredients and taco shells and just have at it. So we're doing tacos for Sunday. And I'm basically closing the ritual. I'll be doing this one where I close the ritual, basically thank the gods for being there, have one final night of celebration, kind of set the intentions for the next year, but also have a general offering that night. That'll be for whoever you want to give to. People come in, hey, I'm giving to, Skadi, I'm giving to Njord, whoever you want to give to. I love live streams because you get to see how weird I am. I'm dying. I'm drowning. I'm drowning in my own water. All right. Didn't I almost die there? What do you recommend offering to the hostfirtier when food is not an option? Any drink would do. Like I always recommend if you can't get alcohol, any kind of cider, any fresh drink, I would highly recommend. I have a small little offering cup that I put most of my offerings in, and of course I have the offering bowl outside, so I would recommend some kind of liquid, probably best. Let's see here. UK Heathen here, just starting the journey. I'm getting Tolkien's Legends of Sigurd and Gudrun. Got Neil Gaiman's Norse Mythology too. What would be next? Really, Scott Hitchman, I would recommend this book. I'm not getting paid to subjugate you guys to this, but this has been a really good book. Matthias Nordvig has a PhD in, I think, Viking Age religion or Viking history. So very good source material. He is Danish, so that also helps his credibility as well. And I feel like it's a very no BS book. It's not a lot of thrills. It's going to be very no BS. But I think it's very important to get the no BS answers because there is so many influences from so many different directions in this faith. Not all of them bad, but we have to understand where a lot of our information comes from. Obviously, I'm a big proponent of the modern worship of this religion and understanding that we're going to have new traditions and new culture. That's very focused on me, but we have to be very careful in what we are saying is historical fact and what is modern tradition. We're going to find out. You're going to find out very quickly, and I think most people find out very quickly that most things in this faith is modern tradition that is at least influenced by the past. That's okay. So Heimdall is connected to rainbows since he is the god of the guards of Bifrost. Yeah, I don't know too much about Heimdall as far as like worship of him. I know a lot of people end up giving him coffee. I think Oh my God, there are so many of you in here, and I love it. Because I completely lost that comment. But yeah, the Bifrost definitely seemed connected to Heimdall. I'm going to give him coffee. I recommended somebody the other day, and it was more of a spur of the moment recommendation, but they wanted to connect to Heimdall more. And since he is the forever watcher and always watching, I said, stay up all night. You know, give an offering to him at the start of night and basically stay up all night as he would, and kind of embody him in a way. I feel like that would be a really great ritual. Jacob, can you connect to the goings without an offering? Not that I'm too lazy to give an offering. I cannot drink and random fruit throughout the house. Despairing is hard to excuse. So I've recommended this before. An offering doesn't necessarily need to be food or liquid. It could be your time as well in meditation or research, as long as you have that intention behind it. Just sit down for an hour, say, I'm going to meditate thinking about Odin and wisdom, or I'm going to read and do research in the name of Odin and things like that. Those are great non-object-based offerings you can give. All right. Did you feel like after your rune tattoos is made your connection with the gods stronger? I too have some rune tattoos. Could it be added to talking to the gods or any rituals? So as far as tattoos go, so the Vejrasir is my first one. This one, you know, most people, this is a very common symbol you'll see in this religion and this culture and this community, but we don't know really what it does. This comes from a non-Viking age. This comes from an Icelandic magic stave, and I think 14, maybe it's 1600, but definitely not connected to the Viking age. And the best thing most people think is the compass. My theory on the Vejrasir is that it represents the 9 worlds with Midgard in the center. And so once I got this tattoo, I basically, attention is everything. I got this tattoo to guide me. It's called the Viking compass, and I got it to guide me throughout this faith. And so to me, setting that intention behind it and understanding that's why I have it, that did do something for me. Now, as far as like this tattoo, I think this is a remembrance more than anything. You know, this is basically, I got this almost a year ago now. I got this when I was in Colorado and saw Wardruna live. Awesome time. And this tattoo, as far as like feeling anything any different, you know, I don't know if it's necessarily a magic thing behind it, but, you know, this rune basically represents my journey in the wisdom of Odin. You have Aretho for journey. You have Othala for ancestry, why we're doing this. Fehu for wealth and prosperity, because we want this, you know, community to prosper. And then Wunya, because we want to be happy. You know, we're doing this to be happy. We're not doing this to, you know, be sorry on ourselves. We're doing it to live a good life. So, yeah, I don't know if it's necessarily I feel dramatically different, but I got my tattoos for a reason, and I will never forget those reasons. Jacob dies on stream. Yeah, no, that would be bad. Like, you're all just like, someone send help. Who knows where he lives? And I'm just died from drowning in my own water. You had me at tacos. Yeah. So one of the strange things that has kind of come up is I make these pizza wraps. So I get egg roll wrappers, and then I put mozzarella cheese, pizza sauce, and pepperoni, wrap them up, you know, like a square wrap, and then fry them. And it's something my grandfather taught me how to make as like a college food, really. And then I started making them at gatherings, and now it's become this like assembly line because a lot of people love them. They request them, and when I bring them up, everyone loses their minds. And so these pizza wraps have become like a thing I have to make now. And so at this gathering, I believe I'm making 140 pizza wraps on Friday night. And I love, you know, obviously the ancestors weren't going around making pizza wraps at gatherings. If they were, that'd be badass. But I don't think they were. And so it's a modern tradition that I'm really excited for because it's something that does come from my family, as small as it seems. You know, my grandfather taught me how to make these. I remember eating these as a kid. And so it's a really exciting thing to get to see transmit into our modern faith, is that for some reason it seems like for every gathering from now until the day I die, I will be making pizza wraps, but also teaching people how to make them. Minnesota Pagan here. How would you recommend meeting other pagans and going to gatherings when I don't have a vehicle and my parents are devout Christians and I don't want to be descended by them? My man, it sounds like patience is going to be the key. CRJ Gaming. If you don't have a car, it's going to be very hard to meet others. So the best thing I can recommend, if you are allowed to leave the house, I hope you are, just go on plenty of walks, go, you know, find a nice patch of trees, have a good time. But as far as meeting others, the best bet you're going to have is just meeting your friends, meeting like-minded people. If you have really good friends that will listen to you when you're like, hey, can we go in the woods and I'm going to give an offering? And who knows, maybe they'll be interested. But don't put huge expectations on yourself if you don't have a vehicle and you don't want to be disowned by your parents. Don't do anything that will make your life more difficult. Just try to take the life you have and combine it with the life you want, and you will find happiness. Put that in a fortune cookie. I'm new to your channel. Wicked Misfits Last Ride. Welcome to the Wisdom of Odin. You've made it to the live stream. We've crossed over the hour mark, which means I'm going to start losing my mind. I've made it to an hour before. I've maybe even an hour and 15 minutes. But I can already feel the insanity setting in. So you're here for one wild ride. All right. What do we got here? We got conversation. It's good. Sean Weir, what are some health precautions planned for gatherings? So the best thing I got to tell you, obviously this is, I expected this question to come up, and I don't necessarily want to talk about it in depth, but essentially we all understand the risk of having a gathering right now. We're not blind to what's going on. But obviously with me, I'm not seeing anyone 2 weeks leading up to the gathering, basically living just solo until then. I expect everyone to show up. If you are unwell, if you have a fever, I'm not temperature checking, but if someone is unwell, coughing or anything like that, you'll be asked to leave. And, other than that, just obviously don't share glasses with people. Don't do anything you don't normally would do. Cover your mouth when you cough, those wonderful things. And when I get back, I am taking a COVID test personally, so that I can protect my family if need be. I can, go in another 2-week quarantine before Christmas, but also I planned it to 2 weeks before Christmas. So hopefully no one has too many problems. But it's one of those things, no one's being forced. And obviously some people disagree with what we're doing, but at the end of the day, it is our choice. And, we understand the risk going into it. So I hope that helps answer it. I've known for a while I would have to explain that to somebody, but truly everyone that's coming to this gathering just wants to come to a gathering to worship the gods. And I hope everyone uses common sense. Jacob, you once mentioned an observer putting pretzels on a spirit offering and had a connection. Are small things like pretzels acceptable, or should you strive for more intricate offerings? I think at first, if you give pretzels for every offering for years, maybe not. But I do believe, those small acts of kindness. I mean, the fact that I was giving a more intricate offering, he was sitting there watching and he was just eating pretzels. And I get back up and he's like, do you think I can give them some pretzels? That intention behind it, the intention that the fact that he wasn't planning on giving something and that he gave something and had an experience, that's great. But I definitely recommend give an offering that is appropriate. And that's up to you to decide. There's no scale of like, here is the guide to offerings. Do you need, some healing magic? You want to give some, full bottle. If you want to get some wealth, you're going to have to give an arm. If you want some wisdom, you have to give an eye. I don't think there's anything that will help you with that, but you really got to feel it out for yourself. All right. Ever heard? Ooh, it updated again. What do we got here? Okay. Pizza wraps. What the heck did I miss? Welcome back. Pizza wraps. Alabama Pagan here. We got Sniper Panda 92 looking for Alabama people. Yeah, Caleb, you're in here. You're going to the gathering. I know you did it last time too. That's all we can do. I think a lot of us need this connection right now. And the fact that, we've been in this for so long, as far as like a world, as far as everything that's going on, I think a lot of us need some form of spiritual guidance, spiritual health. And I think a lot of us that are going to these gatherings, that is more important than, anything else, is just maintaining our souls and just maintaining our happiness. Viking pizza with flying swap. I don't know what flying swap is, but it probably, I don't know, but it sounds foreign. Oh man, it updated again. Jacob should try learning 11 languages. I have lost my mind already. Yeah, no, I don't know. Why are you learning 11 languages? Maybe try 5. I'm trying to learn German a little bit right now, just for when I go to Germany in next month, in a few months. But it's not going well. I know French pretty good. It's getting rusty now, I've noticed. Next would be German, and I know restaurant Spanish. Any Indiana folk? We have a lot of Indiana folk. Came up with my recommended this did. Well, Pagans R Us, welcome to this Thanksgiving live stream. I don't know if you checked out the channel before, but there's a lot of good content down there. I hope you check it out. Stout-hearted Pagan. when first starting YouTube, what was the most helpful thing you did? I started mine for my journey because of you and Dylon. 2 videos so far and hope to have more. Wonderful. Glad to hear. So what helped me the most was having some form of schedule. It can be really easy to miss out on videos. It can really be easy to get obsessed over certain things, but just having a schedule. And I found myself, whenever I get lost and I feel like I'm not being creative anymore, it all comes back to being on schedule. Like, this week, this live stream is basically the only thing I'm putting on YouTube this week. And the reason for that is, one, because of Thanksgiving. I want to make sure I give time with my family. Like, I could have released the holiday video today. However, I want to get myself back on our schedule. I want to release on Mondays and Fridays again. So the holiday video will come out Monday. I'll have another video done by Friday. And that way I'm a week ahead. Getting a week ahead on anything honestly makes life so much easier. And it's no different with YouTube videos. Just keep, also don't be afraid of what you make. And this is coming from someone that, works on a YouTube now that, gets a wide variety of comments, sometimes good, sometimes bad. And so don't let trolls put you down. Don't let anyone, negative comments put you down. You'll get them eventually, but keep making the content that makes you happy and the content you want to put out. Don't let anyone, obviously take people's advice, but don't let anyone truly influence the content you create. And that is the best advice I can give. Vivian Reynolds, thank you very much for your time, Jacob. I really enjoy your sense of things. Hail and well met. Enjoy your time with your family, and I hope your minds are healthy. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoy any time you get with your family. Happy Thanksgiving to you, and thank you. I'm glad my channel has been helpful. All right. Oh, it refreshed again. Why do you do this? Vibez says, why pray for Lok? I'm assuming luck or sacrifice. Loki, maybe. And what do you get out of it? What to sacrifice? I don't know. If Vibez, you could put what you meant by Lok. Are you meaning Loki or luck? I can't quite tell. I'll try to get back to you in a bit. I'm fluent in English and German. Yeah, I'm not going to try to pronounce that. Thank you, Jace, for showing off your language skills. Your channel has been recommended to me recently, so let's see where things go. Yeah, so YouTube, I'm not going to lie, I definitely knew that Assassin's Creed Valhalla was coming out, and I knew this would be a great time to help promote the channel. So obviously I made, 3 videos around Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and that has helped tremendously in boosting all of this up, and it's great. So glad it worked out, but so glad to see so many new faces. And the greatest honor in my life is seeing that people are now commenting on my videos. They're like, why is this recommended to me? And then some people are like, this seems eagerly like something suspiciously magical that it was recommended to me, and people are finding these videos in a great time. And then apparently like there's a spiritual trend that some Christians are like watching it, and they're like, why was this trash recommended to me? So it's a give and take thing, but I'm so happy that so many people have come to this. Obviously, a combination of all things with the mysterious YouTube algorithm. So thank you for all the new faces. Hope you find some answers. Hope you enjoy it. I try my best to make my content as entertaining as possible, because ultimately I understand we watch videos to be entertaining. And I've received some of my favorite comments have been people that aren't even Norse pagans, and they're just like, I just find your content entertaining. One of my favorite YouTube channels that I watch on a daily basis, and I've seen almost every one of his episodes, is Steve MRE Info 1989 or something like that. Steve at MRE Info. It's literally a guy that just opens MREs and eats them, but he gets some like historic ones from like he's like eating a 1905 MRE, and then just like tries them out. I've never eaten an MRE in my life, but I find his videos fascinatingly entertaining. So I've watched almost every single one of them. So if people are just watching my content to be entertained, I'm glad as well. I try my best to make it content entertaining as well as it is informative, and just as well made as possible. All right, let me see what we got here, huh? The algorithm likes you, man. For now, I feel like, oh man, like there was a day it kept going. Like there was a day I had 35,000 views in one day, and I was like, what is happening? And then it like dropped down to like 10,000, which is still amazing. And I'm like, what did I do, YouTube? Oh, I'm so sorry. How do I get that back? Like, oh man, the YouTube can make it crazy. I tell you, it's definitely been something I've been dealing with over the past few weeks. The uptake in Wisdom of Odin views has been truly magical, but also dealing with that, almost doubling in size after working for over a year to get to 10,000, and then getting another 10,000 in a month is truly a crazy experience. I'm so honored, but also it's been a crazy adjustment. All right, let's see what we got here. What do we got? How did I end up here, algorithm? Alejandro Espinosa. Maybe the algorithm didn't bring you here. Maybe it was Odin. But thankful for the algorithm and mysterious forces combined. All right. Oh, it refreshed again. Why do you do this to me? Hello, Wisdom of Odin's greeting from Seattle, Washington. I'm preparing food for Thanksgiving and an offering to the gods, goddesses, ancestors, and local spirits. Any suggestions on what to offer? So, as far as Thanksgiving, I know we're doing this for Yule, so this is what I recommend. I'm really excited to do this. So, we're actually going to make an entire full, bountiful plate of food and leave it in an open spot and chair for the ancestors for Yule. Basically, say, let them have the first plate of the best food. And then, of course, we will probably burn it afterwards. We'll have our ritual. We'll actually put it in the fire. But basically, we're putting aside a plate of the best food for the ancestors. So I would highly recommend you do that as well. This has been something I see a lot of people do. And it sounds like a wonderful tradition. It sounds like a great way to honor the gods and really the ancestors that are not able to join us but have gotten us this far. So that's what I would recommend. All right. Wisdom of Odin. I mean the god. Okay, Vibez, welcome back. I mean the god Loki. In Sweden, he spelled his name Loki. Okay. So I don't personally give to Loki. I've given one offering to him, and it was basically telling him to leave me the hell alone. There's a lot of Loki followers within the community at large, and I don't really have the best answers for that. I did a podcast episode again on Loki with I think it was Laura, and so I would recommend checking that out. Laura worships Loki on a daily basis, and we had Ian worships him fairly often as well. I don't personally like giving offerings to Loki. Now, I will say Matthias has a great thing he does. It seems like Matthias is more of an Odin man himself. And since there is the story of how Loki does, Odin never drinks or eats before Loki does as part of his oath, Matthias actually always gives Loki an offering before he gives other offerings to make sure that Loki is satisfied within that oath to Odin. And I think that's a really great tradition. So it's not really necessarily a Loki, you need to help me, but it's more of a respect to Loki as Odin respects him. So I actually really like that tradition. I may do that myself. Let's see here. Indiana Pagan, on Instagram. Look at this, all this networking. So great. I'm so glad still 100, almost basically 150 of you are still in here. I think the peak was 220, but this is still, at the moment, the biggest live stream we've ever had. And I'm still not even halfway through it. This is for all of you. This is a Thanksgiving live stream. I'm here for all of you as you need it. All right. What offerings can you give if your dog is constantly hungry, thirsty, and very sneaky? If your dog is getting into your offerings, like obviously I have a cat that has not left that spot all day. And she obviously doesn't get into the offerings very much, but if you have a dog like that, the best thing you do is find an offering outside. Maybe having it in a high up spot that the dog can't reach. The dogs are very sneaky like that. Yeah, I don't really know. Liquids probably would be best. I don't find dogs to be interested in every liquid they find, but yeah, if there's food, he's going to eat it. I don't often leave food as an offering inside my house. It just doesn't go well. All right. Jace, you've been here the whole time. I love it. I'm a Norse polytheist creating an entire channel. I'm a Norse polytheist creating an entire channel created around research of Norse mythology, research, scholarship, and books. What's your advice for me, preparation for content creator? Just do it, man. That's all you can do is just do it. Content creation is a hard game. You look at if you don't, the biggest thing is don't get obsessed with views. Don't even think about your views. Just do it. One of my favorite videos to make is when I do book readings, dramatic book readings, but they're also the worst videos as far as getting views, but I do them because it's the content I want to make. Like a few weeks ago, I made the OC and the Jupiter music video making of, and it's not that popular video, but still I love making those videos. It's one that's really close to my heart. I love watching, and the people that have watched it, it's never going to get picked up by the algorithm. Don't even think about the algorithm. What are you going to think about the algorithm a little bit? Content creation, if you really do care about views and you want more people to see your content, you will have to kind of make videos that people will search for. The reason I made a video called The Viking Religion in the Modern Times, or whatever I called it, the religion of the Vikings in the modern era, maybe. I can't remember the name of it now. The reason I made that is because people coming to Assassin's Creed Valhalla aren't necessarily going to search for terms such as Asatru. They're going to search for terms such as Viking or Viking religion. And so that video exists for those people. And so when you're going into YouTube, if you do want to attract a certain audience, you do have to get smart. There's a business side to it. It's a hard world. I never want to lose my creativity or my heart or my soul, but you do have to think business sometimes. I don't know. Just keep going at it, make the content you want, but also pay attention to your community. I mean, I feel like the reason I got this far is because I try my best to pay attention to all of you, connect with you all as much as I can. Don't be afraid to do live streams. Live streams are like a lot of people have been doing live streams in the community. They're like, I don't know how you do that. And it's definitely an adjustment period, but I've really grown to enjoy them, enjoy connecting with all of you. How do you feel about the troth? So Hark Thorsland. So I try not my best not to judge anyone really at all. I don't have any bad run-ins with the troth. I don't like organizations just in general. That's a general rule. I don't, people are part of them. That's great. I find organizations to be inept, especially organizations that have gone through the legitimizing process of the United States government, simply because of what the government makes you do to be a religion. The filters you have to go through makes it not paganism anymore. So I really don't like organization. I don't plan to formally organize myself. I don't plan on joining an organization. While I have allies in many organizations, I have friends in these organizations. At the end of the day, I think we're a tribal religion for a reason. And, if you want to be a part of their tribe, that's great. If you want to be a part of the Wisdom of Odin tribe, that's great. But at the end of the day, get some folks together and give offerings to the gods. And as far as the troth themselves, I have, really no bad opinions of. No, I just don't like organizations. All right, let's see. We got. Excuse me. What podcast did you recommend to me? The Loki podcast. Yeah. So we have the Folk podcast. You should be able to search for it. It's on my. I need to start putting a link in my videos as well. So the Folk podcast is on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and Podbean. Actually, if you have Spotify, I think I can sneak you one real quick. If I can get really sneaky, I apologize if it plays. Let's see, share, copy link, copy show link. Go to, oh no, Google Chrome, copy and paste. There you go. I don't think that's an exact episode, but that should bring you to the Folk podcast. So we've been doing the Folk podcast for nearly 3 months, I think, at this point. It's so far been really well received. I know we're over 10,000 views on Podbean alone. I think we're closing in on 50,000 views in total as far as a podcast. And I'm very happy with how it's been going. We do want guests on the podcast as well. We were looking for guests. We have everything booked up through December for the most part. But we will be looking for more guests to bring on. So if you're interested, please email us at thefolkpodcast@gmail.com. Basically, anyone's allowed to come on the show, share your story with us, and just talk about topics. Or if you have questions you want us to discuss for an hour, please send those our way. We don't get a ton of emails, so the chances of us reading your email are pretty high. But yeah, I really want people to be on the Folk podcast. It's about all of you. Do you think about you are going to visit Wisconsin sometime? So I know about the first 6 months of my next year. As long as things work out, I will be spending 2 months in Germany. I'll be coming back, going to California to put on a gathering out there in the spring. I will be going to Mexico for a friend's wedding in May. And then I don't know after that. So I assume I'll be doing a ritual / gathering for Midsummer here in Kentucky. I would assume, simply because I won't be able to do anything from Yule till then, basically. So I know we want to try to get something going in Wisconsin and Minnesota because there is people up there, but there isn't a congregated group enough. So hopefully one day we will. I know we want to. I think we discussed it. It was going to be summers when we try to do something that way. All right, let's see what we got here. Oh, it refreshed again. Why do you do this to me? Wisdom of Odin. How many pagans have you met that worship hell, and how do they give offerings to her? I'm fairly new and feel a connection to hell. I love your channel. Keep up the good work. I know fairly good amount at this point. Ian on the podcast is a devout hell follower. Kristen is as well. Desert Pagan on at Desert Pagan, I think, or at _desert_pagan on Instagram is a hell follower. If you get to connect with him, Ian's going to hate me for telling that. Ian, let me put up your phone number. Oh my God, he would hate me so much. But we do have a few devout hell followers. I don't personally give, I don't think I've ever given an offering to hell myself. I don't know a lot. There is a book, I believe, called The Road to Hell by H.R. Ellis Davidson that you can get that has a lot of really great information. I think I believe Aerith Herger just put out a hell video, or at least an afterlife video. So they're out there. I don't have anything specific for you. And I never want to seem rude when I say I don't have anything for you, but quite simply, I just don't want to give you information I don't feel confident in giving you. That's one of the big things. I have a lot of opinions, but at the same time, I just want to make sure I don't give you any misinformation. Right. Blake Coffee, just starting watching your videos and learning specifically about Norse paganism and starting to have dreams with ravens and crows. Awesome. Answer the call, man. One of the things I've noticed over this community over the last, year is a lot of people expect things to happen overnight. And that's just not true. This religion is a lifelong religion. It's a path that you follow for a very long time if you choose to walk it. If you hear the call, answer the call, but don't expect things to change dramatically, not right away. I've been on this path since either 2015 or 2016. I've lost track at this point. So 4 or 5 years. And, I'm looking back, I'm so excited that everything that's happened. But again, it's been 4 to 5 years. And only the last year of that has been the Wisdom of Odin. So, take your time with it. Don't rush into it. I'm glad you're hearing the call. All right. Your podcasts are amazing. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah. If anyone wants to check out the podcast, like I like the podcast because I get to be a little bit more casual. Obviously, I'm more casual on live streams as well, but I do try to be very script based on YouTube videos. Just that way I get the right message across. YouTube is a very scary world, and I want to make sure I get the right information with the time I'm given. But these live streams and the podcast are a great time to dive into more, personal thoughts on matters, as well as sometimes diving into the conspiracy theory. And so far, no one's asked me any conspiracy theory questions, but we always find a way. We're only halfway through this. All right. Wisdom of Odin. Does anyone do pagan apologia? I don't know what I'm saying here. Apologia? I don't know what you're saying. Maybe I'm just not very smart. Not really something people do in this faith. I don't know what you're saying, Chris. Maybe explain it. I don't know what that means. I'm sorry. Adam Holly is following on Spotify. Wonderful. Will you be coming to the southern states? I will not be at these. We do have a southern gathering happening. I believe it's all full up, though. We have a southern gathering happening. I will not be involved in it. I think Amanda's might still be in here if you are, but Amanda's one of the people going behind it. And that's happening the week after the Kentucky one. I'm actually helping my folks move and starting our Christmas stuff, as long as everything's clear after the main gathering here. Use the term folk very often. Oh, no. Come back. I'm going to answer this one because people ask me about this all the time. Oh, I'm going to find you again. Where'd you go? I'm going to find you. CV. Use the term folk very often. Are you at all worried about me associated with the Vulcus because of what you're saying to reclaim the word? So I've never stood up on a pedestal and said, I'm reclaiming this word, because I don't think that's how you reclaim things. You just start using them. So I use folk very liberally, and because I don't think folk should be a bad word. I think it's a great word, and I'm just going to keep using it. And I don't think, I don't have anything to hide. A very inclusive community. I just don't get on a pedestal and say it. And I think pedestaling is not a good thing for this community. I believe in actions. And to me, I'm going to use the word folk. And when you come to a gathering and you see people from all walks of life, you're going to be like, oh, cool. Because that's how I see things working. But yeah, I think folk is a powerful word. Obviously, I don't say Volk with the V because I'm not a douche. But yeah, I think folk is something that we should take back as a community. And I think the only way we're going to do that is by sending a positive message. Some people might take it wrong. People, oh, well, Jacob says folk, he's a racist, or, but at the same time, I can't change those opinions. I can only give action. I can only do things. And I don't, come to a gathering and you'll see really real, you'll come in, you're like, my folk. I can't stop using the word. It's a great word to describe us. Hello, I claim myself to be a pagan. I have not gathered everything for it to be official. The question I ask is, what oaths have to take? Do you have to take? There is no official oath to do anything. This isn't Christianity. There is no baptism. There is no getting on a rock and saying, oh, I love the gods. And there's no formalized oaths. There's no formalized anything if you don't want it to be. Like I just said with the folk comment, just take action. If you want to be a part of this faith, start giving offerings and start talking to the gods. Oaths are a very overpopularized thing. I blame Vikings TV show for that, because episode 1, you see Bjorn, take an oath ring and eat the salt and the earth from the sword. And, it's great imagery, but not anything we know of actually happened. And so oaths are definitely overpopularized amongst this community. Oaths are very sacred. They do exist, but they should not be so casual, is how I feel about them. Daniel Warnerberg, Wisdom of Odin. Why do you call yourself an American pagan? You're not from Scandinavia. That's the Norse. What is your take on this? So I've debated this for a while now, actually. Back when I first started talking to Sean Kratz from Osing the Jupiter, he considers himself more of an American pagan because he worships Norse gods as well as Egyptian gods and other things. And it's an interesting concept because really it's an interesting debate, because you look at America. America is a combination of so many different cultures, all compacted. And not only are we all compacted and intermingled, and we've all had children with each other. I'm sure if I took a DNA test, there would be a dozen of everything with 5% of everything. And that's the weird thing about America. We're such mutts. And why don't we say North American paganism? Maybe one day we will. But for me, I worship only Norse deities. I only feel connected to Norse deities. And my family has always joked around, oh, son, our family is Viking, blah, blah, blah. I don't really attach to that very often. I just live the fact that I feel connected to Odin. I feel connected to, Thor, Tyr, Tyr more or less recently, Frigg, Freya. I feel connected to these deities. These are the names that have become associated with them. But obviously, I go out into nature and I don't see fjords. I go to Red River National Park, Red River Gorge, and Daniel Boone National Forest, and experience gods here in North America, or deities in North America. And so, yes, technically, maybe I'm an American pagan. Technically, I'm a neo-pagan. But to me, I worship Norse gods and worship Norse deities. So to me, that's what I go by. But the people I tend to hang around with are not exclusively Norse pagans. They just tend to worship Norse gods along with me. So I don't know. But Norse pagan just goes with what I worship, with all the Norse gods. And I guess it depends on your opinion, if you do have to be Scandinavian to worship these gods. But ultimately, the Vikings landed here, so maybe a little bit of magic in here. I don't have the answer for you on that. It's definitely been something I think about, though. And I think that's the best I can give you for now. It's something I think about, but it's not necessarily something. I'm not going to switch saying in my videos, I'm a North American pagan. But our paganism is different. But at the end of the day, why should our labels matter is my return question to you. Because I don't think labels should matter as much as weight we put behind them. At the end of the day, I feel connected to the deities I follow. I don't need to shout to Odin that I'm a Norse pagan. I just worship Odin. I don't like labels. I think labels are dumb. But I hear your comment, and I reciprocate it, and I feel it, and I don't know if I have the answer for it. Hope that answers, Daniel. Minnesota is the Summer Skeeter Fest. Oh, yeah, I've been to, I'm from Ohio, and I've been to Northern Ohio, and I can only imagine it gets worse as you go up there. How do you end the conversation with the gods? Because I find that I go on to a ramble, and I hate to waste their time. I mean, if you got their attention, why not use it? I do have a basic structure. After I kind of talk to the gods for a bit, I will come to a close after I feel like I've made my point, thank them for their time, and then close the ritual. Just really be thankful and respectful. I think I said once, treat the gods like a celebrity that you look up to, that you're meeting for the first time. You don't want to waste their time, but get your point across and thank them for the time they give you. All right. What do we got here? How does one attend one of your gatherings? So the gatherings have grown up quite a bit. So the gatherings started, my first gathering I put on was in March of this year. So 9 months ago, essentially. And we had 9 people. And then we had 25 for Midsummer. And then we had 30 for fall. And then we had another gathering of 30 for fall. And now we're having 6 gatherings ranging from 15 to 59. So they have grown up quite a bit. The best place to learn more information, at some point, I want to say, they're not exclusionary at all, but it's become a fact that, there's 400 members of our Discord community, which is available through Patreon. People talking all the time. We have everything laid out, so all the regions are mapped out where you're from, so you can meet people around you. And so they just kind of naturally form. So being a part of the planning process and getting in on it is the best place is the Discord. But the Kentucky Yule, I've put things out on Instagram, and I've even offered to the people putting on these other gatherings, like, look, if you want me to share it out, we can. But Discord has been a great place because honestly, it's a great place to vet people. I mean, we don't want to let just random people into these gatherings. So it's just become this natural process that of, hey, you want to go to a gathering? Well, shoot, we've been talking to these 8 people for the last 6 months. There's a trust there. And there's a huge difference with that than there is of just putting out an announcement on Instagram to my 8,000 followers there, and then having people with no posts, no profile pictures asking me to go to a gathering. And I'm like, I have no idea who you are, and you literally could have made this account today, and it's kind of freaking me out. So Discord, being a part of the Patreon community by no means gives you exclusive access to the gatherings, but it does help quite a bit, just simply because we want to get to know you first. So yeah, that's probably the best answer I have. But the Kentucky gathering I did put on an Instagram. Just be patient with us. We're still learning everything. I mean, we don't necessarily have an official rule book, but we definitely figured out some things along the way that we've discussed as a community. All right. Wisdom of Odin, can your out-of-state friends, brethren, ever come to the Kentucky gathering? We have many out-of-state people coming to the Kentucky gathering, actually. I would say half of the people are not from Kentucky. What is the most accurate way to conduct an oath ceremony? So there is no accuracy in an oath ceremony because we have nothing to base our accuracy off of. There is no written down oath ring ceremony, at least what I know, or an oath ceremony. The best thing I can offer, once again, is first off, oaths are not as critical as people make them seem in this religion. Oaths are, something that should be taken very seriously. But if you are interested in that, if you are willing to make a lifelong commitment to an oath and a pact and a promise, then the best thing I can offer is just to make your own ritual. Make the sandwich of the ritual. Summon who you wish to summon. Make sure you say goodbye to them in the middle. Set your intention, your offerings, and why you're doing everything, and make yourself a ritual sandwich, and then let the gods eat it. And it's the same goes with any oath ring. You just put the oath ring in the center of it, or your oath. I've made oaths as simple as just swearing on my oath ring for personal use. I've also had 3-hour-long ritual fairs with shamanic drumming and some form of ritual in between to swear the oath in the end. So they can be as complicated as you like, but start simple, but also really think about oaths before you make them. All right. I don't remember my dreams. I've received no calling. It's hard to believe without something pulling it at you. I'm staying optimistic. Best thing I can say, and I think most people within the community at large would say this, just go outside and start talking. And the gods will not appear to someone they do not want to appear to, but you can easily connect to spirits and nature deities if you go outside, if you just go into the woods and just, find a waterfall. I mean, there's several locations here in Kentucky I go to, and you just feel something there. So just go on an adventure, go outside, leave your phone off or leave your phone in the car and just go for an adventure. Be safe, but go on an adventure and see what happens. But also just do things that make you better, and the gods will take attention to you as well. And you don't need the gods to send you any dreams. Me and someone else in the community were talking about this today, is you don't need a dream from the gods to go on this path. I've had 2 dreams from the gods. Once again, someone that runs an entire YouTube and life based off of Norse paganism, and I've had 2 vivid dreams / visions of the gods. So don't act like you need those. Wisdom of Odin, I have to leave for work now. I'm sure you're already gone because I got this really awake, but thank you so much, Goran Van Hoot, for joining us. Adam Rose, hey man, I want to thank you. You helped me start. Now I help others start on TikTok. That's great. Adam, are you in the Patreon? I think you are. If you are, thank you very much. Otherwise, thank you very much anyways. All right. Oh, apologia is apologetics. I don't know what you mean by that and referred to as apologetics within paganism. I don't know what you exactly mean by that. I don't have an answer for you. Danny Warburg, this might have been Hugan and Munin tell me that a place is not this religion. The gods are everywhere, even in America. Yeah. Hope my answer was still satisfactory. How are you doing today, Jacob? I'm doing pretty good. This is the best I have felt in the 3 weeks of having this darn kidney infection. The worst it got was I was having severe back pain. At one point, it was very persistent. I couldn't even sit for very long. Sitting in a chair hurt me. But as of today, I'm experiencing very minimal pain as far as the infection goes. So I'm very excited. It's almost over. I have 2 more days left of antibiotics. And hopefully after this serious round is over, I will be completely clear. I hope. It's been a 3-week process and I'm so tired of it, but thank you for asking. One more person in this chat who needs to thank you for being a positive influence. Feeling closer to the gods, feeling like I found my path here. You were a huge help. Trouble is, I'm so glad I was able to help you on your path. And good luck out there. Good luck with the gods in our crazy world we live in. Why is it update on me? All right, what is our time in here? Hour and 38 minutes. Yes, I'm almost to the 2-hour mark. All right, keep this going. I've never had a live stream this long, Rick. I'm really curious. I feel like at first it was very run and gun, and now it's gotten a little bit more like, more casual. I like it. But, ooh, I'm tired. Everyone, I'm going to take a water break. I hope you don't mind, but I'm nearly out and, don't want to die of an infection. So I'll be right back. Talk amongst yourself. Love you back. I hope you didn't miss me too much. Got some Reese cups too. You guys want some Reese cups? Take some Reese cups. Take some Reese cups. Oh no. I think I got a little chocolate on my laptop. Oh no, that's the worst. That's what I get for being dramatic. I should have never bought this many Reese's cups. Valhalla Reborn. We'll do the Wisdom of Odin. That's something I want to do for more anyways, get back to the roots of nature. Definitely something I've missed being stuck in the house for this long is nature. Nature is great. What led you to this path you're on? And when did it start? This path has been in whispers my entire life. I was never interested in Christianity, even though I was forced to go to church. My favorite thing to bring up to people in this community is that I was once in a church play. Yeah, I was in a church play that ran for 5 weeks or something like that. It's just a crazy, way my life has gone, and now I'm, talking to you about paganism. It's crazy. And I was interested in Eastern philosophy for a long time, Buddhism, higher thinking, enlightenment, those things. And I practiced that when I first got to college because I was able to. I was out of the house and felt like I had the time and the ability to do so. And so that was really the first entry point into it. So that was 2013 was when I first got into Buddhism for a few years. And I think it was either 2015 or 2016 when I first started recognizing paganism, or at least recognizing that there were forces that I could connect with or beginning to feel that I could not comprehend and explain. And those beings were individuals and not just one identity. And so that's really where the journey began. And then I just started reading books, and it took me a while to give my first offering. But then after that, it became another offering. And then it became kind of just part of my life for about 2 years. I mean, this was still when I was managing a restaurant. And so I didn't have a lot of time to work on my religious self. It was just a part of myself, just naturally. And then after I left the restaurant business and went into freelance photography, that's when it became more of a serious part of my life. I started understanding it more. And then, of course, after about a year or so of that is when I came and made the Wisdom of Odin. And, quite frankly, the Wisdom of Odin has been the best growth for me personally, too. I've loved how much I've been able to learn with the community, but also within myself by making over 100 videos now. All right. Let's see what we got here. Good morning. Well, good morning. I've been having some crazy dreams every night. I can't always remember them, but they're like lessons. Wow, man is nuts. I don't want to go crazy again. I don't want you to go crazy either, the radical burrito. I don't like my burrito. Can you just be the burrito? I don't want you to be the radical burrito. Yeah, dreams are crazy, man. Dreams are crazy. What is the simple way to start Norse polytheism? Topo. Were you the one that asked this question earlier? No. But yeah, this channel is the best place. I think you can start for, at least here. You're already here. Start checking out the videos. I got a great playlist for you. But also, creating an Instagram. Instagram has become a really vibrant Norse Pagan community, even though it's like Instagram. You wouldn't expect it. There really is a vibrant Norse Pagan community on Instagram. Really recommend you create an account, start sharing your stories with everyone else. We have a great community there. But just keep reading, keep researching, go outside. Go outside. I can't tell you how many times I'm going to say that in my life. Amanda Valadorian. Odin told me that I will be making a decision that will affect the 9 realms soon. What might that mean? Don't mess up. That's all I can say. Just keep your ear to the ground, see what's going on. Hot take, underrated game is Too Human on Xbox 360. Ooh, bringing up the OG. Oh man, that game was a long time ago. Adam Howley, I've been calling for truth and I'm associated with Odin and wisdom, so my path is uncovering what the truth is. Yeah, Adam, I've seen you around here. I've seen you. I will stay. If you feel presence from the gods, but you're not sure if they're trying to communicate, what would be the best way to understand why they're so persistent or present. So with the gods, if you feel them coming at you a lot, if you just feel that drum beat, so to speak, what I recommend is you just talk to them, give an offering to them, answer that call. I mean, it's just like the phone ring. If you hear that call, that drum beat, pick up the phone and see what's going on. It's the best thing I can offer. The Wisdom of Odin. I think I've tagged incorrectly here. I may have a venue for a Minnesota gathering for you. Oh, reach out to me on something. Email me. My email is somewhere down there. Yeah, I mean, we're probably not doing anything in Minnesota until probably June. I would assume we're doing something then. For the most part, I know we have some northern Michigan people that are like Upper Peninsula Michigan people that are coming to the Kentucky gathering. All right. Oh, I lost it all again. Thank you, everyone, for being in here. Back up to 185. It's basically bounced around between 150 for 200 people. So thank you to everyone that's been here through this madness. The reason I usually only make these an hour long is because I want to make them accessible for people that come afterwards. But again, I am not going to be here for the next 5 days. So you won't. Oh, I'm dying. I shouldn't have eaten that Reese's cup so fast. I will not be available on basically any platform for the next 5 days. I'm going home to my family, spending some time with them. Thanksgiving means a lot more to me now because it is the best time of year for me to connect to my family who doesn't understand, my beliefs as well. Thanksgiving to me is one of the best American holidays we have. And so I'm really trying to focus on spending time with my family, especially since it's just been a crazy year. Family, means more to me now. And so I will be back this weekend, but then I'm going to get right back into making videos, and so get back on my 2 videos a week. So I will not be available basically for the rest of the week. So this is your time, but so happy to have all of you here. And as it is Thanksgiving, I'm thankful for this community and thankful for all of you that watch my channel, for support me and what I do. So thank you all very much. I'm glad you've enjoyed my content. Phoenix 49.5. Excited to see you at the gathering, brother. I've never remembered my dreams. Never. The last one was like a year ago. I took a nap for 20 minutes. So I'm wondering if I've had amazing dreams that I can't remember, but I wish I could. I'm pretty sure if you don't have dreams, you're getting better sleep than the rest of us. Because you have, if I'm not mistaken, you have your dreams and your REM cycles. And like the more dreams you have means the more those REM cycles are being interrupted. So typically if you're not having dreams, like if you sleep like a rock, you're sleeping pretty darn good. So yeah, as far as I know a few people that don't have dreams. And to me, dreams are a novelty, not a necessity. What advice do you have for creating a bind rune as a personal sigil? Bind runes, I have my rune video, probably the best place to look. I'm not big on bind runes. I mean, they definitely have some importance, but I've really taken a step back for them for the most part. Just because, I mean, the runes in general, I'm trying to find the right place in my life for them, just because diving into them is a very hard process, and it's hard to accept the fact that the runes as we know of them, at least their meanings, are not historical. So I've been in a weird place with the runes. So as far as making bind runes, obviously, I have this one. I've made a few others, the folk bind rune, which is the Wisdom of Odin. Just spend some time with the runes. That's the best thing you can do. Monkey Beaver, all right, finally saying, I want to live stream. F it, and getting on Patreon. Monkey Beaver, happy to have you on Patreon. I will take this moment to talk about Patreon just for a second. I never want to be the YouTuber to ever sit up here and say like, subscribe, and hit the bell and all that BS. It's because that's not me. As far as the Patreon, Patreon, one of the greatest benefits that it's become is the Discord server, but by no means is that the only benefit. At the first tier, you get to join the Discord server. It's a great community of over 400 people at this point, all talking every single day and working with one another. So it's a great resource. So why charge for it if it's a great resource? Why, quite frankly, it's a lot of work to run. At the end of the day, I spend a lot of hours a week working on Patreon, working on Discord with all the people I work on there. We have, bi-weekly, bi-monthly meetings where we meet and discuss issues of the community. We're constantly learning and growing, restructuring, reorganizing, and keeping it in an amazing place. It's a lot of work to run. Other than that, there's another tier that gives you live stream access. You get 2 live streams a month. And that's way more exclusive. Usually those live streams are only 20 or 30 people. So if you have individual questions, that is a great time to ask them. I give them all my time for like an hour, twice a month to the Patreon members. And of course you get exclusive early access to videos at the highest tier. Like right now, if you are a $15 supporter at the Jarl tier, you get the holiday video right now. And it comes about to Monday to everyone else. And that is your paid sponsorship by myself. So welcome. Monkey Beaver, I see you. Thank you so very much. And obviously, I try to be as transparent as possible. I am still actually not making enough money to pay my bills technically. So I left my job, 3-4 months ago now. So I've been working odd jobs on the side, making a little side money as far as video editing. I've started eating this Reese's cup at the same time. Man, I love Reese's cup though. So I will always try to be transparent as possible as far as where the money's going. But basically the next step, as soon as I reach that precipice, that final peninsula of paying my bills and my taxes, with the support of the community, I'm going to hire a personal assistant at some point. So any extra money that comes after my bills, basically I'm going to put back in the community. I'm going to hire people to work for the Wisdom of Odin. At first it'll probably be a part-time position, but I need a personal assistant because I am trying to work on making a short film for Harbitsfield, a poetic Edda. Of the poetic Edda, I'm going to try to make a short film from it, obviously all out of my pocket, all out of this support. And so with that, I really need to find someone that can location scout for me, talent scout, and these things. So it's getting to the point now where I really need a personal assistant. So that's the next step, the next bar after paying my bills finally, will be hiring a personal assistant. So community, you're wonderful. Thank you so much. I'm done talking about money. Let's get back to your questions. Daniel, once again, hello. I love what you do across the pond. What is your vision like in 10 years? Where do you think you are as a community? So my overall vision for the Wisdom of Odin obviously is growing exponentially quicker. I want to make bigger and bigger productions. And this is something I work very closely with. I think I've made an announcement. Me and JD, the person that wrote The Soul of the North, me and him are working on like film projects together, essentially, where we want to make bigger productions. And not just like Vikings TV show, but make films and movies and short films that are centered around paganism at its core. So we're putting together the resources for that. And obviously right now it's just a horrible time to put together films unless they're animated. And so that's one of the big goals of the Wisdom of Odin, is to become more of a media, representation of this faith and make it as best as possible. But as far as like the religious aspect, keep having gatherings, keep making them bigger, make them better, empower other people to put on these gatherings, because, I'm always running around doing things, but also building a hall. That's still a dream, and it will happen. I will buy land next year for myself and my family, and we will end up building a hall on it probably. So the vision is pretty big, and it's just going to keep getting wilder. I'm still very young, and there's still a lot to do in this life, and I'm very excited. Right, let's keep it going. Oh no, I lost everything. I actually really like when people don't do this by crazy means, but when people tag me, that's actually a really good way to find my spot again. All right. The Wisdom of Odin, thank you for being a guiding sense of the wisdom in this chaotic world. Thank you, Lewis Pryor. Thank you very much. How many offerings do you generally give? I think I was overzealous with Loki yesterday. So Candace Hutton. So I wouldn't say I have any regular schedule as far as my offerings. I tend to give I tend to have a small little offering or ritual every week, at least once. And it's not like I have a set day for it. It just kind of happens. But I don't have any recommendations. It's, they can come and go as more you need them. Obviously during gatherings, I give, 5 or 6 offerings the entire weekend. And as far as like quantity, I think I've become a little bit notoriously famous in the community for giving pretty massive offerings. So like I'll often give an entire bottle of this as an offering, whereas some people will just give a glass, and that's fine. You're fine. But yeah, I like to give full bottles. I mean, the way I see it, I tend to spend about $20 an offering. Obviously currency is our way of exchanging our craft nowadays. So typically one offering, I tend to make about $20 in general. But then again, I'm only giving them that kind of offering like once a month. And then sometimes I'll just give apples, give a cup of coffee, things like that. Right. Let's keep going. Okay, let's see. I want to make an altar to Thor, but I don't know how. I don't want to be disrespected in any way. What does he like? Obviously, Thor is a god of oak, so anything made out of oak would be really good. Mjolnirs, goats, anything, battle-ish, thunder-ish. I mean, make something sturdy and manly, I think would be the best thing I could say as far as a Thor altar. I don't find Thor to be too picky, so I don't think you should, just put effort into it, and I think that's the most important part. All right. Anyone from Europe? I think there's a few people in Europe in here. Thoughts on Assassin's Creed Valhalla? Kellen, I have 3 whole videos talking about my thoughts on Assassin's Creed Valhalla, but my general review, I think it does a really good job. I think it's a good game. I put about 45, 50 hours into it, and I'm not done with it. I haven't beat it, but I'm basically done with it. I'm really getting tired of open world games, and I just burn out at some point. Like, I've had a lot of really great story moments, and I just got to another place, and it's like the same stuff. It's like, oh, follow this person around, go talk to this person, investigate this area. And it's like there's some cool moments, but I'm like, yeah, I've done this like 8 times in this game now. I'm kind of done with it. But I think it's a really good pagan. It's not perfect by any means as far as pagan representation, but I have generally good things to say about it, and I think it's one of the best pagan representations we have in video games. All right. Kayla River, you broke it. You said it on YouTube. What? Wait, what did I say? The Patreon thing or the the dislike thing? I'm not sure. Jace, I want to be able to have conversations with the community that I have deep roots in for several years without having to pay Patreon to be able to access the Discord. But I understand, brother. Yeah, I mean, that's, YouTube is obviously here for you. It's here for you. These live streams are here for you. Instagram's there for you if you want to have an Instagram account. There are free things you have. There's free Discords out there as well. But obviously, I feel like we put a lot of work into our Discord. But there are free communities out there. And again, Instagram is a great place. Instagram is free. I think it's a great place to meet other people. I'm there. Other people are there. Drew, what's up, my brother? I would have joined the stream earlier, but I just woke up. Drew, don't you worry. No, we still got another hour and 6 minutes before I lose my mind completely. So what do you feel about mixing different gods from different cultures? So I kind of mentioned this a little earlier in the stream. So Sean Wilson, I don't personally worship outside of the Norse Pantheon, but I know other people do. It's very common. Some purists might have problems with it, but at the end of the day, it's all about those connections. Like someone gave to like the Leshy at the Fall Gathering, and I'm like, did I just feel the Leshy? Even though it's not a Norse concept, I think it's Celtic. And so at the same time, it's all about experiences. If you feel these deities and other people are naming it this, you might feel those deities. It's paganism, it's polytheistic. It's really rude of us to assume that our gods are real and no other gods are real. And to me, if you're saying Thunar or Thor, is it not just the same person in the end? I don't know. These are big questions, but as far as like gatherings, we've talked about this at gatherings. Like obviously, if we're giving a ritual to the Norse deities, we kind of expect it to stick Norse. But if you want to go build a shrine to, Apollo out there or whatever, or I don't even know, like Athena. If you want to build an altar to Athena out in the woods, go for it. But yeah, as far as like the rituals and the main things, like stick to the Norse. Can you see how long we've been here? When we first started, there was daylight, there was sun hitting me in the face, and now it's getting dark. So we've been here for a while. Let's keep pushing through. The Heartland Heathen. How are you doing your gatherings and also being COVID safe? I actually talked about this earlier. I don't know if I want to keep ramping on it. So basically, we're just, coming healthy. Your precautions are your own. But obviously don't share drinks, and we're not doing anything too crazy. At the end of the day, it's everyone's choice to be here, and that's ultimately what we believe in is choice. So I'm not going to say anything that's probably going to make most people feel better, but we all understand the risk. Personally, I'm taking a COVID test when I get out. I'm taking 2 weeks before the gathering. If you're sick, I will send you back. Don't come and be an idiot. But at the same time, we're all trying to be as conscious as are possible, but also understand that this is a faith that we want to recognize and celebrate together. It's the best answer I got. All right, let's see what we got. Oh, there's a lot more of you in here now. 188 again. There's no step by Olin Thorson says there is no step-by-step instruction for the faith. It's all about seeking the knowledge and finding your own path. No one can get there but you. Yep. I've said many times before it's not a dogmatic religion, and it shouldn't be a dogmatic religion. Let's see here. I recently discovered the gods for what they really are, but I'm struggling to begin. What do you recommend? Just go out, have those experiences. I can't tell you how many times I've said in this live stream so far, just go outside, give offerings. It's the best advice I have for you. Talk to the gods. You'll find them if you find them. James, as a graduate of film school here in Georgia, higher production films make me excited. Keep up the good work. Thank you. I remember there was like a subreddit about the Wisdom of Odin, and everyone knows how Reddit can get sometimes. And nothing against anyone in the Reddit community, but Reddit can get pretty nasty sometimes. And one of the things that was said about one of my videos, they're like, it's got great production quality. We're not sure about them yet. I'm like, I want to stick with the good production quality. That's definitely something when I came into the Norse pagan YouTube world, I wanted to make sure I was giving good production quality. It definitely seemed like something the Norse pagan community was lacking. So I'm going to do my best to keep giving it. All right. I see you, Mary. Who are you squaring up against? Let's see here. Wisdom of Odin, I hate this, but I need to go soon for real life responsibilities. Thank you as always, Wisdom, and I'll see you in 2 weeks. Caleb, I can't wait to see you again. Safe travels to you. And oh my gosh, it's only 2 weeks. Ryan Lowe's, I hope to get to know you in the community for a long time to come. Ryan Lowe's, we hope to get to know you as well. Kalorian, I'm going to sleep. Greetings from Holland. Love your channel, Jacob. I'm looking forward to more content. My gosh, you're in Holland. What is it? Almost midnight there, or 11 o'clock. Thank you so much for being on here. Thank you so much for being on the this live stream. Being a part of us. So thank you and good night. Have you seen the show Ragnarok on Netflix? You know what? I've actually got a whole review of the show Ragnarok on here. It's one of my least watched videos. I put it out like a week after that show came out. But yeah, it's only got like 1,000 views and it's been up for months. But yeah, I like Ragnarok. I thought it was a good show. Let's see here. Would the Allfather want crystals as offerings and something else like a sheep brain as offerings, or something else like a sheep brain in the jar? I don't know if that's a joke. No. I don't think anything about a sheep brain in a jar, but crystals are fine. I mean, there's nothing connecting crystals to paganism, like Norse paganism in particular, but I mean, I've paid like crystals in my altar. Not a lot of them, though. Is the term Heathen accepted? Is that like different than heathen? I'm not sure. It's taking back the name, but shouldn't be looked away from. So, I mean, obviously, like the next, like my holiday video is called Heathen Holidays, and I kind of talk about it in my, label video. Like I use heathen in the presence of other pagan heathens. Like I'll be like, oh, you filthy heathen. But as far as like declaring it to people that don't know what the faith is, I don't tend to say heathen because it does tend to have a negative connotation. So I tend to say Norse pagan. In that video, I did talk about Asatru. Like I use that term sometimes, but I'm starting to refrain from that now because Asatru does just tend to mean you're part of a formalized group of Asatru, and I'm quite frankly not a part of an organized group called Asatru. But it's a cool name. Cool name. Do you think some of the Norse Celtic other gods are the same gods with different names? For sure. I think, those crossovers, like I was kind of saying earlier, Thunor and Thor, are they the same? Most likely. Now it's when, I'm not going to be the official authority saying like the Morrigan is Odin, but obviously there are connections. So it's a hard thing to say, and I don't think there can be any definitive answer. Those are always going to be theories, but I do think there's going to be crossings of gods, even among the Hindu and Norse gods. I mean, we can't deny it. Noctis or Noctis, Calum, what's up? That's all I got to say about that. Meaning of life. Is it just me when I go for a walk at night, I get really primal or boost of energy and hype senses? I prefer to take my walks at night, honestly, walking by street light, feeling connection. Honestly, when I walk in the woods, I don't feel in danger anymore. I just want to be safe, but like I feel more in danger in like cities at night than I do in nature. Nature is a very calming presence always to me. All right. Oh, just bust me. No, I have a sheep brain in a jar, and I was wondering if that was an acceptable offering. I must go have a great day. Okay. Yeah, I didn't know that was just like, I've had people comment, and they're like, oh, you not slaughter goats? But yeah, I mean, if you have a sheep brain in a jar, I guess. I mean, does it feel like a good offering? Is I guess the question I always have for those things. Tyler Lister, hey man, I hope you help me find my thought. Thanks so much, dude. You're one of my inspirations for following the Norse Pantheon. Tyler, so glad I could help you on your journey. I don't like the term Asatru. I know you don't, Mary. You're just a hippie. Yeah, and the more, especially when I was doing the holiday research and into like various pagan groups, I find that most people that practice individually do not call themselves Asatru. It's not universal, of course, but it seems like most people that are part of organizations, those organizations tend to have Asatru in their name, and so those followers of those organizations call themselves Asatru. And I do find the term limiting at times. So, more power to you if you call it. I mean, at the end of the day, we're all worshiping the gods. And if you call yourself Asatru, come to the gatherings, we want you anyways. CV, I keep asking this question, but I'm curious. Do you know the platform Amino, specifically the pagans and witches community? If so, what do you think? I don't even know what Amino is. Is that like TikTok? I honestly don't know. I think I've heard of it, but I have no idea what it is. George Parcel. Only about a month into the faith. Thanks for what you do. You set me on my way. Forever grateful. Thank you. Forever grateful for you. Aaron Chandler, ever going to swing to Austin, Texas to share a bottle of mead? I eventually will cross the border into Texas, and Austin's probably on the list because it's a cool hippie town. Yeah, maybe. I'll probably go to Texas eventually. Oh, man, I'm getting caught up. I used to be so deep. Oh, man. Yeah, we've been bouncing around 150 and 200 people in here. We still have another hour left. I mean, I'm sure no one would be upset if I ended it now, but we're going to do one more hour for people that are just getting off work, running into the time. It's going to get pitch black out here. Whew. All right, take a drink. We're nearly there. Come on, people. Let's get into the conspiracy theories. What you got? I'm getting to the deep questions. Well, let's see here. Why Vili, Ve, and Odin killed Ymir? To make Midgard? And Ymir sounded like a dick, I guess is the best answer. I don't know. I mean, it depends if you consider, someone asked a great question. Do you think Norse mythology, like realistically, are real? So do you think Odin, Vili, and Ve killed giant named Ymir, made the planet Earth or planet Midgard? Not necessarily. Now, I don't see Ymir as a giant humanoid. I see Ymir as a planetoid, an ice giant, like an ice planet that was made of ice and rock. That, we think that the molten Earth as it was forming was hit by something made of ice and rock. So maybe that was Ymir. That's how I see those things. I have to go now, but I wish you all well. May the gods help us on in your journey. Matt S., thank you so much. Topo, if you're leaving, have a great evening. Great content as always. Thank you very much. Have a great night. All right. Beth K says, I love your videos and wisdom. I'm a pagan children's book author and illustrator. I'm thinking a Norse subject for my next book. Any suggestions for a subject? Oh, Beth K, thank you so very much. Hold on. I have a nice little gift to show you. If you hold on for 15 seconds. Count down from 15 for me. I'll be back. That was like 15 seconds. That wasn't too bad. So I have this book right here I actually got from Germany. It's called Sigurd und die starken Freuen. It's a German book based on Vikings. Obviously, it's not on the gods, but it's like, I really love the animation, like the pictures for it. Obviously, it's in German, so I'm not going to read it to you. But like, I just really love the drawings for it. So that's what made me think, Beth, when you said that. And I have another book in German, Ich Odin und die Vikinger. And this is actually a little bit more like for, more older kids. But it has like these great like illustrations, but then it does have these longer sections of reading. So yeah, the really great inspirations for that. But I definitely, you could probably just make up a fantasy story about a Viking village, and maybe sprinkle a little paganism in there. Or you can move it. I feel like it has been redone. I know Matthias Nordvig made a children's book based on Norse mythology. So I think maybe making something original, sprinkling with a little paganism there would probably be best. Let's see here. Norseman Gaming, hello, just got here. Hello. Welcome. You still have another hour. Don't you worry. We got plenty of time. Wolf's Day, thank you for all the info. We'll see you soon. Thank you all. Wolf's Day, have a great day. Thank you very much. Norse Way Seeker, Norse Mythology in Comics 2020. Maybe that's referred to the children's book thing. I've wondered if the Norns can die or be killed, or if they have their own fate. If you do have a fate, do they carve their own fate, or does something else carve it? Again, it depends on what you see the Norns as. I mean, I see everything as a cyclical cycle, even in the universe. I think everything has a cycle. There is theories. There is no hard proof of this, but there are theories that the Norns are interchanged. So I have heard theories that the Norns, like I think it was Skald, is a Valkyrie, and that Valkyrie, like that Norn in particular, has changed out. Again, there's no hard evidence for this to suggest this, but there is a theory that the Norns are interchanged once they've done their time, almost like an oath of office. So that's an interesting way to look at it. But it's hard to say. And that, and I think there was even a thing that like one Norn is a human, one is a Valkyrie, and one is a, like some kind of elf, I think. Again, theories, but interesting thoughts. Let's see here. Jacob, what do you think of the theory that 9 realms are fluid and always moving? Oh, Long Haulers, good to see you. I personally see the 9 realms as the 9 planes of existence. This is something that comes from my time with Buddhism. Now, I don't think they necessarily believe in 9 planes, but they obviously believe in the plane we're in. They believe in the demigod plane and the god plane, and they're like, there's 2 lower levels. So obviously that's 5, but I believe the 9 realms are, primordial realms that we exist in. Obviously, Midgard being in the center, we have a world of fire and ice, good and evil. We're very middle. And so I see them not as necessarily physical places, but definitely as realms of existence. I've also theorized that the planets of our solar system are actually the 9 realms. You have Muspelheim, which would be the sun. You have, Asgard, which are like yeah, Asgard. That could be the like Jupiter or Vanaheim being Saturn. It's a crazy theory, but those kind of those are the two things I stick to. As far as like fluid realms, I guess, do you mean like realms that exist right now in what we are and that are always kind of like inner swapping within here? Is that maybe what you mean? Oaks and Tartan. Howdy, Jacob. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Craig6238. Hi, how's it going? All right. Mariah, do you have any advice on teaching Norse paganism to children? My kids are 4 and 6 and don't know where to start. Reading the Poetic Edda would be a great place to start. I think Neil Gaiman's Norse mythology book would be a great thing to start reading them. Obviously, personally with my future children, I don't plan to necessarily force the faith on them. I'll just live my practice and let them participate if they're interested. And I would hope that if they are around their father who operates Norse pagan YouTube, they would kind of be interested. But as far as like children's book, I think there are 2 children's books out there already, and Beth K sounds like she's making one. But yeah, Matthias Nordvig has one, and so I definitely recommend reading those books. I know Heathen Healer or Laura, she hasn't made a video in a while, but she has some books on like, teaching kids Norse paganism. But as far as like the actual process of the religion, I know Mikness Saga on Instagram shared a post once of his like 2 or 3-year-old daughter, and quite simply, he just went outside with her and showed her how to show appreciation to the land and give a small offering. I think those are great things to do, and it's not even necessarily like a Norse pagan thing. It's just be thankful for the land we live in. Let's see here. What am I doing? That's a nervous tick I have now. All right. Okay. Run through. There's so many side conversations here. It's hard to pick out some of the questions. You missed it, but I explained them, or something similar to Discord, maybe. Definitely not TikTok on the PNW. 1 year, make blogs and have chats. I chose to post on either. Yeah, it's probably not something I will ever participate in. I'm pretty social media blocked up. Instagram has just taken up so much of my time, and I'm definitely having to take a little bit further step back. I'm scheduling hours now, basically, where every day I spend an hour just messaging people. I usually wake up to 3 or 4 emails a day too, and usually 40 or 50 new messages on Instagram. So, and not to mention like Discord messages as well. So I can spend all day messaging people. I really don't need to add another thing onto that. But yeah, it sounds like a good thing, if people are interested. All right, let's see here. Water. Oh, water. All right. Zach Hansen. I saw that I don't agree with what they're attempting with making essentially a white-only community. Who are you talking about? That's definitely not our community. Nate Simmons. Cheers, mate. How do you handle other pagans, heathens, and so on that argue the faith? Example, some say the runes are just letters or interpretations of letters, and that's it. I'm always welcome for the debate. I ask people to present their information to me, and I will present my information to them. I always like to look in with myself. Always happy for a healthy debate, but as far as like full-on arguments, some people are just set in their ways. And we are a tribal faith, and obviously I've had disagreements with people. It's going to happen, and so I think we either go our own separate ways, understand that we're all different, and we're going to worship all a little differently. But if people are just being blatantly disrespectful as far as like debates and stuff like that, I just ignore them as best we can do. Long haul, we'll see what you respond to. I see the realms as dimensional, but almost moving fluidly, having trouble describing. I definitely see them as layers that we can move around, and our meditation helps us move around them as well. Okay, what do we got here? Olin, I would pilgrimage to Duluth. Is there a sacred site there? Perfect place for it on a hill over Lake Superior. If there is a sacred site there, I know there's like a Stonehenge type thing in like one of the Great Lakes or something like that. I know Vermont has some evidence that like the Vikings may have made it there, and obviously Newfoundland. Do you know the UK government is planning on building an underground tunnel right next to Stonehenge? If that was built, would cut out the sun for the winter solstice. Could use more awareness. I don't know enough about. I've obviously seen that post around. I don't live in the UK, and I don't tend to get involved in things I don't really understand or. Yeah, I've seen plenty of people who post it. I don't think there's anything I can do about it. What god or goddess do you want to connect with in the coming year? I'm going to give to Heimdall for the Yule gathering, and I'm really excited for that. I've worked with him a little bit. What's my cat doing? Why are you going in there? What are you doing? Yeah, you're cute. She's usually on the live stream. She's napping this whole time. Yes. But yeah, I plan on connecting the Heimdall at Yule a little bit and maybe a little bit more moving forward into the next year, but we'll see. Monkey Beaver, the Discord is intense. I'm glad you, yeah, there's a lot going on there. We've actually, we restructured the Discord about 2 or 3 months ago to make it more organized. It was getting chaotic there for a bit. Let's see here. Oh, Zach Hinson, no, it wasn't a vote, and it was an Ostrich community in Minnesota. Oh, okay. I was about to say, I'm like looking through our Discord on a daily basis. I'm like, look at all this diversity. Yeah, there's definitely some bad groups out there. Zach and I are talking about the Ostrich folk assembly in Minnesota. They include race politics. Okay, yeah, I'm not going to talk about that. Most people on the Discord know my opinions about the AFA. I don't really know how to talk about them publicly. Oh, the AFA. You know, obviously they have their race issues. I just hate how they dress, honestly. I don't get the whole suit and tie thing, like rituals with tiki torches. It's just kind of, I mean, if you want to wear a suit and tie, that's your thing. But oh man, it hurts the aesthetic photographer mind in me. You know, I'm very big on making sure things are aesthetically pleasing in my videos and my rituals, because I think that is an important thing about them. And just wearing the suit and tie and like suspenders, that's very strange. And obviously, you know, their roots are in racism. So yeah, that's enough about that. I don't like talking about that stuff. The gods have an afterlife. There's a story where Baldur dies and goes to wants to go to hell, and went to hell. So does that mean that all gods and die and go Ragnarok go to hell as well? That's an interesting question. And I brought that theory to someone when we're talking about the cyclical nature. I mean, yeah, Baldur died and went to hell, and Odin could go, you know, and Baldur eventually comes back out of hell. So I mean, just Odin goes to hell. And I do believe there's just a cyclical nature to the gods, you know, and maybe their divine energies come back and, you know, rise and resurface over and over again. Whew. All right. What do we got here? But trying to figure out the gods and goddesses to work with and how to narrow it down outside of reading stories. Different offerings are more fitting for different gods. Any suggestions there? That's all going to be, that's all you. That's all you, brother or sister. The gods are all going to be different. I mean, I find that mead is a very good general offering, fresh ciders, things like that. So we find more specifically what they like. I'm really big on buying Odin bourbon just because I'm in Kentucky. I love giving Odin bourbon. But I've given a wide variety of offerings. You'll just have to figure it out. Just, you know, experiment. Latalip Lost Girl. How awesome that I just found your videos today, and then as by music you were live. Welcome to this crazy live stream that I've now been on for 2 hours and 16 minutes, and I'm only slightly losing my mind. I knew it would be a crazy thing. I was like, I'll do 2 hours, but for some reason I've always wanted to do 3. So here we are going crazy together. Well, let's see here. It's getting like I'm getting to the point now where I'm just like reading the comments. I'm like, nice, because my brain's getting a little fried. But I thank you all for being here. 167 people been floating around. I think the highest we got to 220, and I know there's just been people floating in and out. So thank you all for being here. It's been a true pleasure. Happy Thanksgiving to all those who are going to celebrate. And all right, I finally found my place again. Does one have to meditate every day? Heck no, but I think meditation is a good practice to have. I tend to meditate, you know, whenever I give to the gods. Have you ever thought about making a club on Xbox One X to play games on? I play video games to hang out with my friends, and that is about it. You know, I do have several non-pagan friends I play video games with, and then a few pagan friends I play, you know, Xbox with, but I do not have the time or energy to run a video game group based on paganism. I think there's a couple out there, though. Thank you for all you do here. Thank you, Jake, for all the work you do. Good night from Serbia. Wow, from Serbia. Well, thank you so much, Sarah. You have a great rest of your night. AFA are dorks. Agreed, Mary. What is the most woo stuff you tend to get involved? What is the most woo stuff you tend to get involved with? So I have done, you know, for my personal daily practice, it's mostly meditation, thought work, you know, giving offerings, things like that. But the deepest I've ever gotten is definitely the fall gathering. You know, I did some very intense trance work for that and shaman work, connecting and, you know, sending out energy and a lot of preparation. There she is. Yeah. Come here. I see how it is. Come here. Say hello to the beautiful peoples. Say hello. There she is. Doesn't she have the dumbest eyes sometimes? I love her. All right, get out of here, child. But yeah, fall ritual was definitely the most intense. I mean, if you've seen the video, it was definitely crazy. A lot of people commented that it didn't look like me, and it didn't feel like me. That took me a long time to recover from. It's definitely something I'm still working with as far as like shamanistic work. And there's not a lot of information on the Norse side of that, but there is a lot of global research, like global interest in shaman work from various communities. So it's hard to pick the information that would work with a Northern tradition. So it's very hard to find good shamanic teachings and things like that, but I'm trying to work more into that. I don't tend on doing anything like that for Yule just because it did take a lot out of me, but I loved the results. I loved what I think a lot of people felt some really great energy from it. But yeah, that was the deepest I ever went as far as ritual work. All right. Oh, it updated again. Why did it always do that? I lose my place. I want to answer so many questions. Kenneth Schwam, where in Kentucky are you? I'm from Louisville. I guess I'll say it. I'm from Lexington, so not too far away from you. We have a lot of folk in Kentucky now. I think we have like close to 35 or 40. There's quite a few of us hiding around here. Good evening, guys, from Vether of the Ulfender. Good evening, guys. I have a little question here. I just purchased a Poetic Edda and I'm really enjoying it. Is it true that it's only source of Norse mythology? Personally, I do not believe it's the only one. So you have the Poetic Edda, and then you have the Prose Edda. Poetic Eddas tend to be more generally loved by the community because it is less tainted by Christianity, even though it was most likely recorded by Christians, and it's hard to say if it was recorded initially by Christians because it comes from the Codex Regius. And then you have the Prose Edda, which was written by Snorri Sturluson, who was a Christian, and there was very many strange influences in that. There are many sagas. There are very many sagas, so it's not the only source of Norse mythology, but like Tales of the Gods for the most part. Like there's the Icelandic sagas such as Egil Saga. There's so many different sagas scattered out, some that are not even translated into English yet. So I really recommend the sagas of the Icelanders with Egil Saga are great things to look into to give you firsthand information on the practices. Then you also do have several, like a lot of artifact evidence as well, history. But as far as like the actual mythology, yeah, really Prose Edda and the Poetic Edda are basically all written proof, but the actual interactions with the gods and things we do get from some of the sagas. Ignition Zero. I see I rotate between questions and compliments because thank you very much. Ignition Zero, by the way, I just want to thank you. I've been Norse Pagan for about 3 years now, and I've been on and off. And since I found your channel, your passion has inspired me. Thank you. I'm really thankful that people watch this channel. So many people have come to it. You know what? I haven't even checked since I started, doing this. Let's see how many people. I think when I started this live stream, I was at 19,020. Let's see how many people there are now. 19,124. So 100 new subscribers in literally the last 2 hours. So it is crazy. Thank you all very much. Seriously, I was at 10,000 subscribers at the beginning of November, and now going into the end to it looks like we're doubling that. So thank you all very much. Thank you for listening to my rambles. Hoping we get to drink together one day. This is a crazy community. I love it. Laura Doss, this is my first time. It's your first time here? Great. Isn't the first time to love it. I'm sorry if I missed the other conversations, but if you're first time here, welcome. Zach Hansen, I was telling Odin I was working on a project to build a hall here in Duluth on the top of a hill. That's what leads to the AFA. Oh, okay. Thank you for clarifying that. Yeah, the AFA I think has like 3 halls, but they're all in old churches, and that's like, it could be a cool idea. It's like, ooh, reclaiming the churches, like they reclaimed our stuff, but no, they look like churches. I love how delayed these things are because everyone's talking about the kitty now. They're talking about you, Mary. Say hello. So Core Smet says, do you have any roots from Sweden, Norway, any Nordic countries? So I actually I have never done a DNA test because quite simply I don't care. But my family has always talked about being from the Scandinavian countries. I've heard since I was a child, our Viking ancestors. I look very much like my dad's side of the family. I'm actually the tallest in my family because someone along the way decided to, marry a small Hungarian woman, I think. But my mother's side of the family, I know, is very English and Irish, and then a lot of Native American, actually, in my mom's side of the family. You can't really tell in me, but my grandfather looked, Native American as they come. And so quite a bit of Native American in me. And then as far as like my father's side of the family, we really don't know too much information. We only know that at some point someone came over here in like the 1820s and they had a family shield. Like there was a shield from the olden days that they carried, but then someone sold it. So that is essentially all we know from that side of the family. Americans have not been the best at keeping track of such things. Yeah. Let's see here. Is there a difference between shamanism and druidism? It's a great question from Vet Theater. I would say Druidism is more based in nature itself, where you're connecting to nature through various means. I'm not a Druid myself, so I really can't speak all the way. But I find shamanic practices tend to be more focused on the soul, whereas Druidry is, I think, is more focused on nature connection. Possibly. Hope that makes sense. Kentucky bourbon, sidetracked by bourbon. I used to work in a bourbon bar, so I know a lot about bourbon. Just buy Buffalo Trace. It's affordable. 4 Roses small batch. It's affordable and it's good. Don't buy expensive bourbon. It's a lie. Jesse says, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. My favorite American holiday, and then it's ruined by Black Friday. Kentucky Tribe. What are your thoughts on the practice of Utasita? I don't personally have any practices with Utasita itself. I know Soil Shaman or Awa's Initiations has a video on it. That's basically all I know on it. I don't know if there's actually any written evidence besides modern practices to base our knowledge of Utasita on. So I really don't know what more I can talk about it. Druidism is organized Celtic shamanism. Excuse me. Do you think when the god Gary Macmillan? Do you think that the gods appear as they appear differently to us individually due to how we perceive them? And that's due to all us being different, having different perceptions of the gods. Yeah, I do. I find there are some combinations. Like when I talk about my description of Freya, a lot of people share my. Be gone. I love you, Kitty. No, go away. Get your dirty butt out of here. But I've shared, my description of Freya, and a lot of people share that interpretation, which makes my belief very strong in this faith. As I share these things about Freya or Odin, and a lot of us share identities of what they look like. Odin is a little easier because we obviously know a lot about his physical appearance, but people like Freya we know very little about, and even more or less so about like Heimdall and things like that. So when you talk to people that worship these gods and had experiences, and all of a sudden you hear that they saw the same things, very interesting. But is it influenced by our own personal interpretations? Probably by a little bit. Best pagan. Oh man, someone was complimenting me. I lost it, but thank you very much. I'm a first-generation immigrant to the U.S. from South America with mixed Norse roots. I'm just getting back on the face. I want to thank you for everything. Awesome resource. Thank you very much, GHCP 29. Let's see here. How can we turn Thanksgiving pagan? We gotta let them have something. We turn Thanksgiving pagan by just having feast all the time. The reason I like Thanksgiving so much is that my cat is losing her mind. She took a nap all day and now she's just going crazy. So Thanksgiving is really what we do all the time. We feast, we have a fire, and we have family and folk. So I think 4 times a year we get to have Thanksgiving. We can let them have their one in November. And again, enjoy it with your family. It's probably the closest we'll ever get to the normies having a pagan holiday of some kind. I love Thanksgiving. All right. What do we got here? What are your plans for future travels, news, interviews, maybe with Einar Selvik? So plans for the future. So, I think I've been publicly saying this for a bit now. I will be spending about 2 or 3 months in Germany at the start of next year. So I'll be making all videos from Germany and traveling to many sites as possible within, travel restrictions and whatnot. I know we'll be visiting a place where bog bodies were found from, the pre-Christian times. And a few other places, and I'll probably try to get a little meetup going in Germany. So that'll be the first part of next year. But the years, oh my gosh, there's so many possibilities that can happen next year. I'm starting to get more connections with bigger and bigger names. Possibly this is a big baby, but I'm starting to get in with things like, the band Skald. I'm getting to know their inner workings a little bit. I'm getting to know more and more people up and up. I know several people that know Einar Selvik. I just don't know Einar Selvik himself. I know several people that know Jackson Crawford. I just don't know Jackson Crawford myself. So I am climbing the tree that is the Norse Pagan community, and more people are beginning to realize that I exist, and I will talk to them all eventually. Obviously, the big one this year was talking to OC and the Jupiter, talking to Sean. Me and Sean developed a wonderful friendship. The music video for that, I don't know the exact date, but I was told in 2 weeks it will release, so everyone can finally see the work me and Sean put into making the music video for his song Appalachia, which is a Appalachian folk song based around paganism elements. So really excited for people to see that. And who knows what will happen after that. Maybe I get asked to do more music videos moving forward for Norse Pagan themed bands. There was like Anilla, I think, was the band that even Sean was willing to put me in connection with. So there's infinite possibilities. But as far as big ticket interviews, I'd love to get an Einar or Crawford next year. as far as like an interview goes. I mean, really, I'm trying to get through Yule, and then basically all my effort goes into the Germany trip and what's going on with that, and all these gatherings. So, oh my gosh, the possibilities are endless with what's going to happen coming up. Where we go to a Norse Pagan, will you ever go on another Norse Pagan podcast, like a Norse Mythology podcast by Matthias Nordvig and Daniel Farron? I mean, I am on my, if you don't know, I am on my own podcast. I have the Folk Podcast. We have over 16 episodes now, I think. Still going strong. So I do have a podcast of my own that I talk to on a regular basis. We do an episode every week. But I mean, if Norse Mythology Podcast wants me on, that's great. I have like 4 podcasts that want me to be on. They're relatively small. So I will most likely be on another podcast coming up. Just this time of year is just getting really crunch time. I don't have a lot of time left. I do have a photographer that actually contacted me that is interested in doing a photo op series on what I'm doing. So I will be doing that most likely coming up as well. Where are you planning on visiting Germany? Might sound weird, but I'd love to show you around. I live very close to the Nibelungen saga came from here. So I'll be staying in Munich while I'm in Germany. Let's see here. Jacob, I'm a firefighter. Will the gods allow me in Valhalla? I've got 31 years on the job, New Brunswick, Canada. I would highly recommend you check out my video on the Norse afterlife. It's a like 38-minute long video that will give you much more information than I can give in just one small conversation. But our theories and concepts of Valhalla are not as, while they were widespread, what people think about it, it's probably not as common to go to Valhalla as people think. There's not just 2 afterlives, at least in my research. There seems to be many. So do not think about Valhalla too much. But, if you want to get down and gritty with it, dying in the line of duty would probably be a way to get to Valhalla, but don't obsess over that. Even as a firefighter, there are many chances and many afterlives, I believe. Just stay close to your faith, and I think it'll all figure itself out in the end. 30 minutes left, guys, and we will officially have done 3 hours of podcasting. I'm tired. 3 hours of live stream. Let's do a little story here. I hate Instagram's new layout. Let's do it, guys. We're all on here together. We still have 30 minutes left of this live stream. Join us quickly and enjoy this crazy conversation. I'm losing my mind. Say hello, everyone. You won't be able to see it, but join us. Have a good time. Happy Thanksgiving. There we go. See, I'm losing my mind. Kat's losing her mind. We're all on Instagram now. Everyone actually did say hello. I love it. I don't think I actually captured that, though. Does anyone know where to get a Yule sweater that's been more based on Yule and not Vikings and Pinnacles? Okay, Zach Hansen. So Descended from Odin's where I got my Yule sweater. It's very great quality. They're probably sold out, though. Valhalla, who I interviewed on the Know Your Folk series, has a lot of really great sweaters. I actually plan on buying one for myself. Rennet, I think is his name. Great guy. He makes it from Estonia. So really great quality product, really great looking. He's got several ones. So valhyr.com, Valhyr, I believe. Hopefully this link works. See if that works. Yeah, I think that'll work. So yeah, his Yule sweaters are great, and love the guy. Great guy. Should do a live stream with other people. It might help you keep the sanity. Dynamite not enough for you. I thought about it. I might get Jason on. That'd be great. Like Jason that wrote the Oath book. That'd be a cool live stream to do. Let's see here. I can test that Valhalla clothing is awesome. Yeah, he's a great guy too. He's like the nicest dude ever. Love that guy. I hate for asking in who's the god of poetry. I've always meant the bragging introduces the god of poetry, but also Kvasir, who's the god of wisdom and poetry. What about Mimir? I think you've listed all the great options. I mean, obviously Odin, Bragi, the main one I go to. I think those. I mean, yeah. I don't know why you need more than that. Dual live stream on Instagram, and I mentioned you earlier. Prepare for a wave of hell-interested people. That's Ian, guys. He's the one that knows things about hell. I'll ask him questions now. He did a live stream once. I was there. Meeting Jackson Crawford was cool. He was very tall. See, I had a dream he was very short, so I've always just had this interpretation that he was actually very short. I gave Odin offerings 3 weeks back on the backside of a remote lake. After the offering, the wind of the lake went from cold to warm. So Odin acknowledging my offering. That's an example. Yeah, no. In my video, something about the Allfather Spring 2020, I gave an offering to Odin. And basically, the moment I did it, the storm broke, sunset came through, the wind blew like crazy. It was crazy. Loved it. I'm the only one who am I the only one who posed, Chris? Oh, I'm so glad you did. If you could get your mentor who taught you the runes to do a Q&A with you, and publicize it, it would be packed. So, I mean, we did a Q&A with the runes, obviously. And so I think that's the most she feels comfortable with doing. She might be in here, actually. She might be lingering about. Let's see. Hello, folks. Oh, hey, Ian. Oh, yeah. I'm definitely feeling tired of doing a live stream for 2.5 hours now. Isn't that true, man? Okay, get off of my sweater. I love you, though, dude. Use the vote and I get your quote. I see you. I just, I don't know. I find that moment to be a little cringe. But Vikings for me died after season 4, so. I'm gonna have no voice after this. This is why I have no voice after a gathering, because I'm talking the whole time. All right, what do we got here? Totally makes sense. Everyone has their own comfort levels, hence not having the name. Oh, okay. It seems like you guys are talking. Wisdom of Odin, I am an atheist, but I love the culture behind the religion and everyone in it. That's just also intriguing to me. I think you're my favorite person to learn it from. Got to go have been fun. Okay, Ravenholm, glad you enjoyed the content. Thank you very much. I have a question. I switch a lot from one religion to another. One can tell me if the gods will support me again, please. The best thing I can say here, I think, this will be a tough love moment. Let's have a tough love, Lorenzo Bellini. Let's have a tough love moment. So the gods do not help those who do not help themselves. People that often have difficulties with the gods connecting with any pantheon, I find the issue to be that we are not willing to do the work or follow the signs that they put before us. If the gods are, asking you to do something, do it. If you don't do it, then they won't answer you. And they won't, do something that the gods will be proud of. But be proud of yourself. Help yourself out in your life. Don't expect the gods to fix everything. Now, this wasn't targeted just towards you, but it's something that is a problem in the community at large. Is the gods? People expect the gods to fix their problems, and they are upset when they don't, or they are upset when they don't hear them anymore. And I'm not saying you necessarily have problems, but it is a common theme I see. Work on yourself. Build good rituals and discipline within yourself, and it will interest the gods. Don't expect the gods to come save you. They will not. They will stop caring about you if you expect them to save you. The gods aren't here to save us. They're here to guide us. Let them guide you. All right. I hope that helped. But truly, that's the best advice I can give you. I've given that advice many times before, and you have to follow the signs, but also follow yourself. Have you heard of using magic mushrooms for rituals? Of course I have. What was your first encounter with the spirit like? So I have actually been interested in ghost hunting for a long time. I worked at a haunted hotel as my first job. I just worked the restaurant there. The whole hotel was haunted. And so I've always been connected and been able to feel spirits and presences. And obviously this is one of the things that led me away from Christianity, is being able to feel these things that were not God. And so, it's been a long time. I've been able to sense things for a very long time, as far as negative and positive presences in nature and within our modern world. So it's hard to say, but as far as like a land spirit or anything like that, definitely my general how to give offerings as a Norse pagan, that spirit, which I haven't been able to see in a long time because they closed off that park because some hooligans spray painted the walls. I will burn them alive if I ever catch them. But that was the first time I ever felt a true land spirit, and I miss it very much. Can you give tips for beginners for Nordic paganism? Devon, I have a lot of videos for you. And there's a channel called the Wisdom of Odin. You're on it right now. So right after this live stream, check it out. Check out Essential Astrology for Beginners I have on there. I have a lot of beginner tip videos. I have like 4 or 5 videos that give into like some really beginner information. So definitely check it out, and you'll find a lot of really great answers in there. So any quick advice I have for you: go outside, talk to the gods, a place you feel connected, dig your feet in some dirt, and just talk to them. Feel the presence of nature and talk to them. You'll find the names eventually. All right. If Odin used different names, wouldn't it make sense if his wife Frigg did as well? I don't know if you're part of another conversation here. So there's obviously theories that Frigg and Freyr are the same person. And one is, I don't know if it can be assumed that since Odin has, a tricky personality, that his wife would as well. But I know there are evidence of her, being very similar to Odin, especially in like Grimnisol. They both have very similar mindsets on these things. And my personal experience with her, yes, she is a little bit of a wonder as well. So they very well have different names. Let's see here. Let's see here. All of it. Eddie Marco says all of his beginner videos are effing amazing. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed. Pardon my French. Enchanté. Zach Blackman. Oh, what's up, my dude? It's good to finally see you here in the final stretch, the final 24 minutes. I have to pee so bad, but I'm not because we're nearly there. Yeah. So very excited. Tic Tac 22 says U.S. Army currently in the Middle East, just converted to Norse Paganism recently. And your videos have been great. Thank you, brother. Thank you very much. I work with the military quite closely. I have many members of this community are part of the military. It's really exciting. We have a lot of military members here. And we have someone that works within the military. We're working very tirelessly. She's working very tirelessly and asked me for advice, and I help as much as I can. We're trying to make sure that heathen and pagan awareness is much higher in the military. I missed the stream. I guess I'll have to rewatch it when it's over. You didn't miss the stream. You still got 23 minutes, you silly. Ask your questions if you got them. Let's see. We would do another 15 GHCP 29 would do another 15-second countdown for you. Man, it might take me longer than 16 seconds. I'm drinking a lot of water. We'll see here. Dude, I forgot about your live stream. Well, you didn't forget it. Wookie Royalty, you're here. You got 23 minutes. Do you play the God of War? Yes, I have. I will be doing a review of God of War next month, actually. So obviously the game has been out for a long time, but I will be doing game reviews for the midguardian.com. The website launches December 15th. I will be doing at least 6 months of reviews for them, and we'll see after that if I want to continue working for them. But I'm very excited. I will be doing all the game reviews for them, and I'll be reviewing exclusively pagan-related games, and God of War will be the next one I do. So very excited. I don't know if people are going to be excited with my review because I've already played it. So I'm just going to go through, probably do a whole playthrough again. I mean, it's only like 18 hours long. It's not that long. But I'll probably do a full playthrough, get some gameplay. But I will be doing it, a review for it. All right. Jacob Hawkins, I can't chat long, but thank you for your videos. Hey, if you got a question, ask it right now, Jacob. I'm watching you. I'm watching you, other Jacob with a K. If you want to talk, I'm here for you. But so glad you enjoyed my videos. Have you had any experience or know of any pagans who lost their job for being a pagan? Hopefully not. I mean, if you lost your job for being a pagan, you need to talk to some human resource or the government or something like that. I mean, obviously it's complicated and not everything, I don't know of anyone that's lost their job directly for paganism. Typically, that's coming from someone that was a manager. If someone had a problem with someone in the restaurant, whether it was a higher up, they would find a way to fire them. They wouldn't fire them for that reason because usually most people aren't that dumb. But if you've been fired because of your religion, that's discrimination, and you can definitely get them in trouble. How long have you been growing your beard? I've been asked this several times. So this is actually the maximum beard growth I've ever had, and I don't know if it's going to get much longer for a little bit. So I've technically had a beard for the last 2 or 3 years. I'd stopped trimming it maybe 6 months ago, 8 months ago, something like that. And so this is the longest it's ever been, and it's not really grown that much. It's definitely filled out a little bit, but I do tend to comb it every day, so it definitely rips out some hairs. So yeah, this is as long as it's been. We're 26. I'm sure it'll get longer. Hey, Jacob, nice video. Thank you, Isaiah. Wisdom of Odin, what would you think of Frigg and Freya being the same goddess? Jackson Carter did a video recently. It's hard. I've had experiences with Frigg and I've had experience with Freya, and they felt like different experiences, but I can see where they could be confused as the same goddess. I'm not sure. I don't know if I have an answer, but I've definitely had experiences with Freya and with Frigg, and they're different. All right. What we got here? Wookie Royalty. When are you going to come to the dark side with the rest of us Chaos Kids in the community? One day, sir. One day, the East Coast Fellowship will corrupt you, the Chaos Kids. I mean, I have respect for hell, and I've given an offering to Loki before, but I don't know if you're going to get more than that from me. Do you believe in north mythical creatures? So I'm assuming you mean like trolls and whatnot. So yes and no. So essentially, the great description I heard of like trolls and such is basically a blanket form for demons or things like that, negative entities. There are negative entities in this world. There are negative beings in this world. I have experienced them. I have had them do some bad things. I've been a part of, those moments trying to get rid of them. They do exist. And as far as like the actual descriptions, just like mythology, I don't think they're as literal, but there are bad things out there, and it is no different for the northern religions as well. Ian's still in here, wanting me to join the Chaos Kids. Dan, this stream is still going strong. Damn straight. I don't think it's dipped anything. I think the lowest it got was 149. It was like 80 when I first got in here. So you guys are awesome. Thank you for sticking through this with me. We got 19 more minutes of live stream, and then I'm going to collapse. But then you're not going to hear from me for 3 or 4 days. days. But that's okay. I'm glad we've all been here to have a great time. Hope you've all had a great time. It's been great talking to you guys. All right, you guys are going to have to give me 15 seconds. I'm going to pee again. Okay, bye. Let me be right back. Talk among yourselves. So my blood type is AB negative. So who wants to give me new kidneys when these eventually fail? I'm taking volunteers right now. Ultimate Patreon tier kidney donations. Hi. Oh man, you guys are counting. Oh no, I don't like it. I'm back, guys. I'm back. I'm sorry. Hello. Provolone is my favorite cheese. I agree, but melted provolone. I don't like this straight provolone. Cat sounds. Oh gosh, she's the worst. I love her. I'm getting really nearly 11 p.m. ready for bed. Hey man, I've caught about that time too. Ain't nothing wrong with it. I'm old, so you can't take mine. I'm coming for it, Eddie. Don't worry, I'm getting that kidney. Do you think Jesus and Muhammad were lucky? No. This might not be a universal opinion. I do believe the Christian God exists, and I also believe the Christian God is just Allah. Obviously, I think a being has to exist for it to be carried this far. Has it been corrupted by many thousands of followers and millions of followers that have led it astray? For sure. I do think the Christian God is real. I just don't choose to follow him. And I feel like that gives me power over Christian arguments. I honestly don't have any problems with Christians. Because quite frankly, usually their answer to me is like, you know, you have to accept the word of God. The God is the only God. I'm like, I don't deny your God is real. I just don't like him very much. And that's given me quite the power in many Christian debates, and I like it. All right. After the stream's in, will you keep the stream on the channel or will it be private unlisted? Alex, all my streams are available as far as the public YouTube live streams. Basically, as soon as I end them, they start uploading and they'll be on here. So there'll be all the questions I've answered will be on here for all 3 hours long. It might take some time for it to upload. But I do have 2 exclusive Patreon live streams every month that are only available to Patreon supporters. Wisdom of Odin, you should briefly go over the importance of closing your rituals. I was like, wait, who said that? True. So, story time, kids. So we had the Fall Gathering was great. We had a lot of really great, powerful experiences, and it definitely stands as a testament that this faith is real, the beings we worship is real, and the entities are real. But we also learned that the dark side of this, we had an experience at the Fall Gathering where essentially some things were summoned that shouldn't have been summoned, or at least more contained, and it may have been because of a ritual. Basically, a very intense offering was given and not closed properly or closed at all. And so we had a pretty negative presence there with us, or at least a very overbearing presence was at the Fall Gathering. And trust me, if you were there, it was crazy. Like, we got to the point we were telling people to not be in the woods. We had to tell people, like, bring people into the house. Like, there was some pretty serious stuff going on at the Fall Gathering that was not in the video. And it's definitely for more fire time chat. But yes, close your rituals, people. So people are safe. But also note that this faith is very real. There are very many great presences, very many imposing presences. I don't know if there's necessarily anything that's evil, but things that have not so great intentions. Man, this faith is crazy, and I love it. Christian gods exist? No. Yeah, you can have your opinion. I work so quick. Question: Which state are you in? Since I'm moving back to Maryland from Australia next year and would like to join an event. So I'm in Kentucky, Jacob. So yeah, I'm in Kentucky, and yeah, we have stuff going on in the Northeast as well. So you'll have stuff to do. And closing rituals is powerful. But the spirits just ground and dance with them. Mary, yeah, of course, you're just over here. Like, let's dance with the spirits. Did you ever see Odin or other gods like Thor here? So the only god so the first intense god experience I had, where the sense that I saw something as in like a person, was Odin for sure. I've seen Frigg in a vision. I've seen Loki in a vision. and Freya. I've had an experience with Freya where I saw her face as well. So yeah, I've gotten a pretty good look at him. Dylan Grant Clark. So sorry, Jacob, had to jump off the stream. I'll go back and watch it all later. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Dylan. You have a great rest of your day. Thank you for joining us. We have 14 minutes left. We're almost through it together, guys. Mary's losing her mind. I'm losing my mind. What do you want, Mary? You've already been eaten. Justin Black, any advice for someone who felt Odin and wants to praise him and worship him? So obviously, Wisdom of Odin, there's a lot of great Odin offerings here. Wisdom, reading lots of books, dedicating your wisdom gaining to him, dedicating your wisdom gaining to something. Odin likes leaders and heroes and people that make a difference. So just try to make a difference in the community you're in. What did Odin, Freya, and Frigg look like to you? So Odin, definitely, I mean, one-eyed. He actually didn't have a full beard when I saw him. It was more of just like the chin beard that kind of came down, maybe a little bit like right there. He had on a hood when I saw Odin, and he had more of like the longer gray hair that kind of went back, and very like gruff voice in the brief experience I had with him. Frigg, the thing I will remember always is in the vision, I opened the door and she had golden like amber eyes. Older woman with like golden amber eyes. And then the time I saw Loki, it was very strange. Like the one intense vision I had of Loki, he didn't know who I was. And he was trying to like trick me into something, and he kind of looked like almost like I don't want to say like, or almost like Romani in a way. Get off of me! Get gone! Why is this happening? Go! So yeah, Loki looked a little bit more like Romani. You know, I don't know. He had like darker features. And was definitely like in some form of like traveling cart and was trying to like pull some trickery on me. And I basically told him who I was. And it was a very strange experience. It wasn't negative. It was definitely like our introduction. Very strange. Cat butt. Yeah, she loves showing off her butt. Do gods like their human creations? Do the gods look like their human creations? I think they can materialize themselves as their human creations, but don't necessarily are us. I think they're too complicated for us. Why are all of Odin's messaging so confusing and never clear? Asking for a friend. Oh, yeah. You're having some cool Odin moments? Yeah, they're great. Why do I keep thinking Thor's voice sounds like Randy Savage? Brother, do you want to have some thunder, brother? That'd be great. I love it. I've seen someone asking about Vidar. I've had no experience with Vidar, nor do I think we have enough information. It's really hard to draw a conclusion. Do you believe in Draugrs, which is essentially Norse zombies? Not really. Man, the questions are coming in like lightning. We're back up to 171 people. It's because we're in the final 10 minutes, y'all. Let's do it. Let's go. Let's do the last 10 minutes. Can you talk about the significance of oath rings? Honestly, I talk about oath rings a lot in my live streams. Oaths aren't as important as people think. They're not necessary. I mean, they're very important and sacred, but don't abuse them. You don't need them. Oath rings, while something that have become a very important part of our community, aren't something that are completely necessary to be a part of it. It's not a baptism. Oath rings, swear your oaths, swear your promises. That's all they got to be. You don't need to swear to a matron or patron or a deity. It's a polytheistic religion. Enjoy it. Definitely going to connect a connection with Loki. Why is my ear ringing? Yeah, be careful with Loki. There's Loki followers. Join the Chaos Crew. Drew, I can't stop hearing that in my head. Randy Savage Thor ruined it. Someone talked, Jim Lydius Sigurdsson, someone who wants to talk about experience with the gods' dreams. I don't know if you're asking me a question or not. Snakes are like dragons. I'm just saying these now. Quality cat love. You guys are talking so much. I love it. My ears ringing a lot. What do we got here? So the most important thing I need to do is just talk to the gods and they will respond. I trust them with all my heart. Talk to the gods, make them proud, go into nature, feel a connection to nature. It's a cyclical thing. It's a two-way road. They give you stuff, you got to give stuff back. That's how it works. Lauren just got home from work from the last 10 minutes of the live stream, but I made it. Welcome. You are in the last 9 minutes. If you have any questions, please ask me, but you're in the Discord, so you can always ask me later. But thank you for being here. He gave me one sentence, Mary, and it's not much to go on. He gave me like a haiku, Ian. You'll be okay. You can figure it out. Chaos Crew, Chaos Crew. Can the gods envy you, or can they have hate towards you? I don't think the gods can envy you, or can they have hate towards you? Probably. I mean, I don't think the gods have a capacity to hate. They can be disappointed, and I don't. It's like a father. I don't think a father would ever hate you, but they can be disappointed in you. You were the best, really. Thank you very much. Do you think Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs are based off the Tales of Praise and Necklace? I have no idea. I don't have any connection to that, but that's an interesting concept, and I really want to hear more. But Sniper Panda, write a dissertation about it. Send it to me. Oh man, I'm feeling the last 9 minutes. Let's keep it going. Would you like to be able to marry my girlfriend and I like you did at the Midsummer Gathering? Justin Black, if you're the one that messaged me the other day about marriage, I will talk about that later. But otherwise, I got 2 weddings to prepare. Justin, if you're the one that's talking about August, maybe. I am ordained through like the Universal Life Church or whatever, which is just like a non-denominational like thing. So I can do it. I just have to have headway. We can talk about the details. Just send me an email or an Instagram message. But once again, I will not be available until next week, which is why I'm here right now. Natalie Gray, hello. Just recently followed you, and I'm only just now becoming more comfortable with sharing my beliefs without feeling silly in the way. We do yourself a lot with that. Thank you. And now you can see all of these wonderful people, Natalie. Yeah, Natalie, there are so many wonderful people in here. The community is growing quite a bit. You're not crazy. You can feel kind of weird sometimes, but you know what? Once you give a few offerings, it's not going to feel weird anymore, and you're just going to feel so connected to the natural world. It's pretty amazing. Oh, it's not my phone off the desk. Justin Black, that's with me. Yeah, I saw your message. Again, it's just like, it's crazy how many messages I get. Yeah, I will probably not be able to give you a distinct answer since it's August. I need to really know what my next year looks like. I can probably, please try to get back to me with January. I can't promise I can get back to you, but try to remind me in January. I tend to read most messages. It's just I necessarily don't have time to respond to them. Been almost a year since following my gut and became a pagan. Welcome. I'm still learning a little, and I should say, a Mandalorian code. Welcome. Let's see here. Obsessed with your channel. I mean, looking stalking your channel. Outdoorical24. Thank you. Please talk away. There's lots of videos out there. My favorite thing, I wish they were in here. It was like Uncharted Atlas, I think. They literally started from episode 1, and I watched their journey all the way through all of my videos up to the most recent one. I love it. Mariah, man, you talk fast. I can talk fast. I've had to slow my speech for videos, but yeah, after I don't know, I live a fast life. My brain moves very quickly. What are your thoughts on how humanity came to be on this planet? Man, if you want to dive in my conspiracies, I don't think humans are from here. I think humans came from somewhere else, but that's definitely my conspiracy. But as far as like the Norse belief in it, I mean, obviously I believe in evolution. To me, the reason I don't think humans are necessarily from here is because when I look at evolution and I look what we're related to, I don't see enough connections between like primates to us. Like there seems to be a lot of missing information between those two things. So to me, it seems like we were not necessarily from here. But, you know, that's just my crazy theory. And obviously, like, if you go into the mythos, we were created from, like, bark or whatever. So maybe the gods came here, saw, like, what the world was doing, and created humanity. We definitely seem to be some form of uniqueness as far as, like, our capacity for connection. It's very interesting. Like, humans are definitely an interesting role. And I don't know if we can just chalk everything up to evolution. Humans are weird. Very strange creatures. Hi, Jacob from Austin. Do you have any advice in regards to books one should read if you want to dive deeper into the faith? Austin, do I have some great news for you? I have an entire playlist entitled like Pagan Books. You should totally check it out. I talk about my books all the time. But if you want a quick guide, I'll just give you the 3 I have right now. Soul of the North. You support my Fred by buying it. It's really short. It's got great illustrations. JD's a great artist. He wrote it all too. Cool guy. If you want a really no BS book about what we know historically from a guy from Denmark who has a PhD in this stuff, Matthias Norvig, Astrue for Beginners. This book, it's all right, but it's right next to me. Astrue, Practical Heathen's Guide to Astrue. It's all right, but I've referenced it more times than I'd like. This is your basic quick rundown, but I got my whole entire playlist for it. Go for it. How do things keep evolving into crabs? I don't know. Do you believe you can ask the Norns to weave certain situations, like asking them to weave your day into fate? No, I don't think the Norns care what you think. Do you believe in the solar system? Flat Earth theory, dog. No, of course I believe in the solar system. I love these rapid fire questions. Crab people? No, what is happening? We have 4 minutes left, people. This is your last 4 minutes. 170 of you. We've had so many people in here. Thank you all very much for being here. But we're almost at the end of a 3-hour-long live stream. I'm slightly losing my mind. This is a reminder to everyone here. I will not be available for the next 3 to 4 days as I spend time with family. You will not hear from me on Instagram. Probably if you're on Discord or Patreon, probably. I mean, I'll do my best, but I've been spending most of my time with family, getting everything back to whack. Monday, a new video comes out, or if it is available on Patreon right now, is early access. But my video on Norse holidays that I put into a lot of research into to share with you comes out on Monday. I will be releasing at least another video on Friday next week as well. But thank you for everyone joining me on the live stream. 4 minutes left. What you got? Whiskey or bourbon? They're the same thing. They're not the same thing. The bourbon all the way. Do you believe in Europe? Seems fake. Totally fake. Not seen it for myself. Can't confirm. Do you think 9 rapid fire? Do you think the 9 planets represent the realms? I've talked about this before. I've gotten some crazy theories on it, and I definitely think there might be something there. Oh, I love to see, honestly, I love to hear your conspiracy theories. Where were you an hour and a half ago when I was asking for conspiracy theory questions, Eddie? I love it though. I love my conspiracy theories. They're great. I have an entire video on giants. It's one of my least popular ones, but people love it. You should find it. There's a video I have on the history of giants. It's great. Do you live in North Dakota? No, it's alive. South Dakota is all the way. Was about to scream if you said flat Earth confirmed. Norse didn't care what Odin thought. Yeah, the Odins don't care what Odin thought. They do not care what we thought. It went by so quickly. It really did. This last hour in particular. Good to see you, H from True UK. It's wonderful to see you. You're probably happy I didn't talk this fast in our the mute I talked with you guys, but it's great to see you here. Hello, everybody. May the Nords bless you this week in happiness, prosperity. I found out about this channel and I'm hooked. Great. Tegan the Nobody. Hopefully you're not my niece. Or maybe that'd be kind of cool. Thanks again. Thank you. Any advice for dedicating new altars to the gods? I can't really cover that in the next 3 minutes, but perform a ritual sandwich. You got your summoning. Set your intentions. Do the things you want in the middle, and then close the ritual sandwich. Let the gods eat it. Love the Giants video. Yeah, I love the Giants video too. It's such a niche thing. Are there podcasts you recommend? I have a podcast. It's called The Folk Podcast. We interview people from around the community about their lives. You can be on the Folk Podcast. Email us at thefolkpodcast@gmail.com. If you die in Canada, do you die in real life? Gods no. Thoughts on Uller ruling in Odin's absence? I have no idea, nor do I think we have any evidence to support it. Be well and safe, everyone. Thank you, everyone. This rapid fire at the end. 2 minutes left, and you know it. All 159 people in here. We are going to have the biggest skull off possible in here in about 2 minutes. So when it gets time, prepare yourself to really let the rain fall. And I'm going to record it for sure of all the skulls coming. So I'm excited. What do you think is the best way to connect with Heimdall? So coffee for sure seems like a very common offering to give Heimdall, but also I recommend picking a night to stay up all night and be a forever watchman just like him and do a ritual all night for Heimdall. I think that'd be a great way. Here it comes. Not yet. Hold yourself. Folk podcast. So ready. I'm just reading your guys' comment, but I hope you love my voice. Thanks for doing the live stream. I love it. This was awesome stream. Thank you so much. Thank you for everyone that was here. We're almost there. Let's get ready to close this thing. We're actually over at the 3-hour mark. So you know what? Let's just get ready to do it. Do you watch YouTube channels? Universe Inside You. Never heard of it. Woo, just found your channel. Great. Dave, I'm so sorry if you just now joined us, but so welcome here. I have a headache now. So everyone, prepare yourself. Because soon the skull off begins. Everyone calm yourself, find your inner self, and get ready to skull. And I'm going to record this because I want to see it. So everyone, until the hall, skull. Go for it. Skull, my children. Let's see it rain. There it is. Yes. Yes. Oh my gosh, I love it. Thank you all so very much. This is the best. We have the best community, and I love it. Thank you all so much for being here on the live stream. It has been an amazing experience. It's been 3 hours with all of you. I will get back with all of you by Monday for the new video coming out. It's been great. I hope I've managed to answer a lot of questions. I have no voice left. Thank you all. Have a great rest of your night, and skull.